we still sisters?
Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Diabolical Souls Presents. I'm the Gooch. I'm your host. And tonight we're doing Arcane Season 1, Episode 1 review. And I have my friends here. But first, I quickly want to mention, please, if you could, hit that like button, share this stream out to everyone you know, leave a comment, and subscribe to DSP if you don't mind. That'd be great. But I have something for you guys. Amateur Analyst is on here tonight, and we have a face reveal. And here we go, the man himself, Amateur Analyst. Look at that. Look at that sharp dressed man. Look at that guy. There you go. How you doing, buddy?
Hello, everyone. I am good. I don't know what compelled me, but I'm here with my face, so be kind. I'm kind of nervous about it.
Looking sharp. Looking sharp. You look good, bud. You look good.
Well, thank you, sir. You look good as well.
I try. I'm the Gooch.
Not bad for a Gooch, anyway.
Yeah, not bad for a Gooch. Well, let's bring on the other guy, the other co-host. He was with us with Blue Eye Samurai. The man, the legend, the myth, Mr. Stupenzo. How are you doing,
How's
buddy?
it going? Good to see you all. Good to see you guys.
Low T, Enzo. Low T. You got to bring it up.
Good to see you guys. Hell yeah, with my eyeballs. It's always good. How are you?
No, it's always good to see you guys. I'm glad you're here.
I just got done binging this show, so I'm pumped.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what you think of it, honestly. So, yeah.
We kept everything to ourselves in the back room. Yeah. And let's bring the man himself, the man who has all the knowledge of entertainment and movies, the man that knows it all, especially when it comes to Spider-Man. Let's bring him on. Andrew, how's it going there, buddy?
I wouldn't say I know everything, but I guess my ego will take it.
Yes, that's why I did that, because your ego would love that.
Oh, yes.
Thank you for joining us, Andrew. How you been?
I've been doing well. I'm going to get my camera focused here. There. Yeah, I'm
Awesome.
doing good.
Thank you guys for joining me. We have a lot planned for these episodes. We have Little Platoon. He's not here tonight. He's going to be here next week, and he's penciled in for he wanted to be penciled in for all the other episodes. We have Zach's coming on. We have Cannoli that might be coming on at one point. We got Copa who might be coming at one point. We have Nadia. Oh, there's Platoon there. How's it going, Platoon? Thanks for joining us, buddy.
Wow.
Yeah. We look forward to hearing from you.
Funny story. So me and Platoon have been working on an Andor stream, but I was like, hey, we should do an Arcane stream sometime. And then you conveniently, I think it was the day of, you made a group chat and was like, hey, we're doing an Arcane review. And I'm like, all right.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to take that.
No, it's good. So now I don't have
Gooch
to
is a fed. He's been listening in on all of our
now I don't have to wrangle in Platoon and have to harass him in DMs for him to reply to my messages. Now you have to deal with that.
If you build it, they will come, man.
You know what? Platoon's been great. I love Platoon. Every time I ask him, he's always willing to come on. He's a great guy. I've never had any issues with him, so I'm lucky that I have that kind of relationship, I guess. I don't know.
Even though he's British, I still respect him.
Yeah. Yeah, well, before we start, let's say a quick hello to everyone in the chat here, and I thank everyone for coming on and watching this. I know we had some watching us do a Blue Eye Samurai. That was a lot of fun. I enjoy going through these shows and talk about the animation, talk about the storytelling, talking about everything that goes with it, and you guys giving your breakdowns is fantastic. Like I was mentioning this, the amateur in the back room, I'm like a caveman. I'm just doing the controls here. You guys are articulate, and you have these great insights to all this, so I just enjoy having you guys here, so I appreciate that. Kilted Cajun, 11 hours to wait. Wow. Thank you for joining us tonight.
At what, 8 in the morning, 10 in the morning today?
Yeah. OT, too bad this is at 10 p.m. I wanted to be on the panel. LOL. Also, Watami, hit that like button now, because I'm sure it'll be a good stream, and because I'm pooched and will probably be asleep by the time this goes live. Have a good one, King Gooch, respected panel and chat. Thanks for joining us, bro. We appreciate it. He's been following us. Jamma Lama, I'm a man. Shite.
Jamma, I'm a man.
Yeah, he's a Jamma Mana.
That's so funny.
Lance keeps calling him a chick all the time.
Yeah,
and Lance is like, I'm a dude.
I thought it was a chick at first. Jamma
Lance,
was just like a girl's
there is
name.
another Jamma who's a female. I think that's what's going on. Is people are confusing the two.
Well, I didn't think either because I don't assume gender. All
Right.
right.
Yes.
Oh, very progressive.
Jamma's
on.
just Jamma. He's
Yeah.
the jamming.
Lance, thanks for joining us. I know he's just quickly joined in there. Let's scroll down. We got a lot. OT. We got OT still. We got we'll probably have a lot of people jumping in. Racerhead, thanks for joining us, brother. He's another one that's been watching us. Mark Morgan, Kilted, what you doing? What you up to? And then Platoon, of course, and everyone else. And Kilted
the
Cajun, Arcane, simply my favorite recent animated show. I love talking about it even years later. I love it, love it, love it, love it.
Now,
Well,
when did the show come
these
out
guys,
exactly? A year or
2
two
Years
years
ago.
2 years ago.
Criminy. And they're okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
Well, these two here, and that's this guy over here and down here, are like huge Arcane.
Of course.
Can't wait for them to start talking about this. So
Did you guys watch this like when it came out, or did it take a while?
yeah, I did.
for it to get
Yeah,
you?
I did.
It
I watched the
took me
first episode.
bedridden on COVID for 10 days to give it a try, but then it was
Vex,
like, holy
thanks for
cow.
joining us. I'm
So it was all like a fever dream?
Does have more of a beatnik look to them in real life.
I can go dress up Beatnik if you want.
I'm gonna be honest.
Weird kink.
Amateur looks exactly how he sounds, and I don't know if that's a compliment
Nice.
or something, but I mean,
He looks a little more
as,
sinister than I pictured
It's-
him, which is a good thing.
Sinister. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, he's got some of those eyebrows and that yeah, he's good. It's good.
I got a long nose. Is that why I look? I
You
sound
don't
like
look
I
harmless, is what I'm trying to say, which is cool.
Okay, fair.
Okay, you guys ready to get into this? You ready to
Yeah.
jump into this? Because I know Andrew and Amateur are, this is like their shit. They love this.
They've been edging for years for this.
Yeah, they like
In a
no
manner
joke.
of speaking.
Yeah.
Mentally.
Let me
I've been
just set
preparing for this my whole life.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
yeah, like I said, I got into the show because people like you told me to watch it for I want to say a solid year. I think people have been telling me to watch the show now. So I got around to it, and spoilers, I liked it. I want to say I liked it more than Blue Eye Samurai.
Well, it's elite. The show is elite. This show
The
is
show's
yeah.
elite. Yeah, this seems to be
Yeah.
what you guys are all saying during Blue Eye Samurai. Like, oh,
yeah, Blue Eye
Arcane,
Samurai is
Arcane's
like
better.
A tier. This is S tier.
S
Yeah.
tier.
Or
Ray say,
however we
looking
do
forward,
tiers now.
looking forward to everyone's views on Silco, an exceptional carry. Absolutely. Yeah, CLS is just wanting to get banned. Like I don't know.
Maybe he gets,
all right.
Maybe CLS gets off on getting banned.
Yeah. The intro. As soon as I saw the intro, I knew right away we were in for a good animation here. The first time I watched this,
Even just the
but
way
the
that
opening scene-
vinyl gets loaded on is
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah, it's got this like what's it called, the Art Deco style, like illustration on it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Kind of like a
It
Roaring
almost looks like
20s.
pastel or something wrapped around
Yeah.
it. But
yeah. What were those style posters you'd get with the cool illustrations of babes, flapper babes? Very
Painterly.
cool. Yeah. And it's like reminds me of Akira. The jukebox, big part of that.
Yeah.
I don't know. And yeah, the show right off the bat, I was like, this animation is pretty awesome.
It is.
The music's great too, and there's a lot of nonverbal communication going on in this first couple of minutes before this credits.
yeah, there's no real dialogue, which is neat.
Amateur or Andrew, you guys have done some deep dives into the show. Have you looked up like the bridge scene, like what's any significance of these faces at all into the bridge, or is like
Well, so the faces that are carved into the bridges are pretty much all the visuals in this scene completely go against the song being sung by Powder, right? The song being about the generosity of wealth and this more pure idea, an innocent idea of how the wealthy operate. Like, dear friend across the river, my hands are cold and bare. Dear friend across the river, I'll take what you can spare. and like, I ask of you a penny, my fortune it will be. This whole idea that if we ask the wealthy to help us, they will help us. But in this scene, it's lots of darks, lots of reds. And we have these faces, and these faces kind of represent how the higher society sees the people of Zon, or future independent Zon. And these cold faces staring down at them without care, saying, "No, you don't belong here. Leave."
Yeah.
So like anti-Statue of Liberty.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
The way that it's depicted here, yes, very. Like, the people of Zon probably have, or the people of Piltover and higher society probably think, "Oh yeah, these stone statues, they're great."
Now,
But
is
I
this all stuff you learn from the games? You guys play these games?
No, I
Are
don't
they?
play these games.
I have played.
I
the
don't play
games
these games
for
at all.
research purposes.
But they're like dumb mobile games, right? They're like nothing like this show.
Well, no, it's like it's a
It's
degenerate.
a MOBA. It's not a mobile. It's like man, it gets really nerdy, but like it's based off of it's like what do you call it? It's like a custom map from Warcraft 3 that became an entire genre. It's called Multiplayer Online Battle Arena. It's a PC game, but like it just exploded in popularity. I'm pretty sure League is like the most profitable video game in the world right now.
Okay.
At least it's got the biggest MLG, like Major League gaming presence.
That's
it's
good.
underrated
I thought this was a fucking phone game people were playing
No.
like freeware. I was like, oh,
You could probably run it on a phone. It runs really easily.
that makes way more sense that it's like a nerdy, like tabletop style, like computer game. You know, they play with a mouse.
It's just it's got a it has a bit of a
It has a very
reputation
rich
for being very
backstory.
toxic because it's super competitive, but
Okay.
and it's mostly I believe Korean.
Do they have like a chat where you can hear people, or is it all text chat
No,
based?
It's all
People
text. It's all
Talk
text.
shit.
People do talk a lot of shit, which
Dude,
is
the
my
text-
favorite.
Yeah.
Cats get crazy.
Okay. Now, this is just a small subsect of what we're watching in this Arcane. This is probably just like a small chapter of the whole of League of Legends. Is that
yeah.
correct?
Oh yeah,
League of
there's
Legends
a whole.
has a lot of lore, which
This is like if
funny.
we made a solo movie about just like Melina and Katana.
It's
from
actually
Mortal Kombat.
amazing how much there is for like fans of the game in here without like needing to play the game or know anything about the game. Like it's
I feel
probably the
like-
best fan service for a video game adaptation. Like period. I've never.
The only
seen one
reason
like
I
that.
know about this game is by watching those tournament. Like I've seen, there's a show on Apple called Players, and they do League of Legends on there.
Okay.
And there's a couple documentaries that I've watched on all the gamers, and that's the only reason why I know about League of Legends. I would never have guessed that this was part of that game.
Yeah, no, you
Yeah,
wouldn't.
it's crazy.
You wouldn't.
No.
I remember when I first watched it and I noticed League of Legends in the title.
Yeah,
I'm like,
based on League of Legends.
Are you fucking for real?
Yeah,
Like,
I
Yeah.
watched the first episode on premiere night. Like they did a whole live stream event where a bunch of creators were like were able to stream the first episode, and it was kind of like, "Hey guys, let's go watch this League of Legends show and make fun of it." And then we watched the first episode, and we're like,
and it was amazing.
"Yo, they kind of cooked." I'm not gonna lie.
This is cool.
It was great.
Well, it was anticlimactic thing ever.
I'm gonna keep feeling like the uncool uncle asking the kids about their Pokemon. You know, like what? So
Yeah.
wait, what's this all about? Who?
Well,
How?
you're gonna be asking us, but I
You
haven't
guys don't
played the
even
game.
know.
I know nothing
Cool.
about the game.
Good.
Yeah,
seen,
I don't know anything.
I've seen like
Yeah,
a
I'm just
live
trying to
stream.
I'm just trying to judge this show based solely as like a standalone thing. I don't really
Yeah.
care about any. It's like
That's
you
how
know
I
what it reminds me of? Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. I've never fucking played Final Fantasy. I don't know what the hell any of the shit means in that movie, but that movie's badass. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Mhm.
Bunch of people after a box called Mother. There's like a giant monster. My cousin was like, "Hey, this one guy, he's a vampire." I was like, "What?" Yeah, he's a vampire. I'm like, I don't know any of this.
Is there a 15-hour boss fight in it?
I don't know. No. I mean, that's a nice tight, like, 100-minute movie, but it looks great. That's the same thing about this movie. It's like, yeah, I'm kind of following it, but it's fucking gorgeous.
Yeah, you don't have to know shit about the lore to get this show. Like,
Yeah,
all-
Kilted
it all
Cajun
stands on
seems
its
to
own
know
feet.
a lot about this, and thank you for joining us, brother. I'm pretty sure it's a complete standalone, and
No,
it's related to the
yeah.
game in name only.
it's
Well,
heavily
yeah.
related to the game, actually.
Yeah,
just
like
not
Oppenheimer,
the
or
gameplay.
that's his name, right? Oppenheimer.
Yeah,
that little guy?
the lore, specifically with the lore, I'm pretty sure it's not tied to the original lore. It's tied to the it's just like a standalone thing based on the lore of the game, but not connected to it.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So,
Interesting. So it's like its own canon then.
yeah, its own. It's a completely different. New canon. I don't want to use the term.
I'm not a lore
universe.
expert, but I just played the game to try to figure out where the fan service is.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it's
you're
really
just like-
good fan service. It's like, holy shit, why does League get the best fan service?
Yeah, dude. It's like why does League of Legends get a better adaptation than Halo?
Like Halo, all you had to do
Yeah.
was make Halo
Halo's
2
the-
and 3 into a fucking movie, scene for scene, and it would win Oscars. Like,
Dude,
what's wrong with you?
Halo's the easiest one.
Yeah, just do a play-by-play of all the cutscenes, and you'd be fine.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Kilted. Yeah, and Saturday Night Hypnosis. Thanks for I mentioned it on there. So yeah, thanks for joining us. Halo is like Pablo Schreiber came out and said something really stupid the other day on about the helmet, how he's not gonna be wearing the helmet that much. He's gonna continue like showing his face and everything. And it's just like, okay.
You guys have to deal with my face.
Yeah. It's basically
Dude,
that's
that's the
what he said.
Love it or leave
smallest
it.
issue I have. Like, take the
All
helmet off. I don't care. Like,
Dude.
you obviously don't understand the character, but if the show is good, it wouldn't matter. But the show's fucking awful, and that's just the nail in the coffin, as far as I'm concerned. But this is about Arcane, something good.
Yes, and this
Talk about Halo.
the first couple of minutes with this bridge entrance is like amazing. The song she's singing, and I'm sure you guys know the song. Go ahead and name that song.
It's not a song.
I don't know
it's
if it
more
has
of
a name.
Yeah, more of a limerick
just,
or not a limerick,
Nursery
but
rhyme.
Yeah, it's more like a
nursery rhyme.
nursery rhyme. It's interesting because it is about. I'm wondering if this song, like, what does it mean to like the culture of both sides? Because like it's very like it's kind of like a national anthem in that sense, where it's like look, the generosity of the wealth giving to the poor, and it's very specific.
Those damn socialists.
I haven't come to a conclusion, but it seems very culturally relevant to them.
Yeah,
They do later in the show, they do refer to Piltover as across the river. So it's a lot of dialogue that supports that this might have been an old folk song that they would sing.
Yeah, it definitely alludes to that, which is pretty cool. Like,
And
just the
also,
amount of
look
depth.
at these stormtroopers, bro. They're so cool.
Right. I
Yes.
thought this guy was like the main bad, like Darth Vader right here. And it's like, nope, this is just like Stormtrooper. This is like a random henchman, you know,
Yeah,
causing
these
mayhem.
Quick shout out to Matt Barr. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for joining us. Go check out
Oh.
Pre-Kings and his channel.
Arcane's
Matt's the
not
best.
back though.
Yeah, it's season 2. We're just doing season 1, getting ready for season 2 in the fall, in November. Thanks for joining us, Matt. Sorry to interrupt there, guys. This entrance is awesome. These the thing I really like is these guns, how they lock and load them. It's just that.
Oh yeah, there's a slow-mo shot where like
They're like a repeater.
cartridge. Yeah,
Very cool. The editing
Good
in the
use of
beginning part here is
slow-mo.
crazy. Yeah, amazing use of slow-mo. But like, we're already getting little snippets of Powder / Jinx's sort of what would you call it? It's not really schizophrenia, but like that traumatic based,
Very
trauma
traumatic.
based,
Yeah,
like mental illness is. You're already starting to see the first like, little
scratched out
instances
film.
of it.
Look,
yeah.
And also, Vi's dead mother looks suspiciously like Caitlyn, which is a little strange. Might be some mommy issues there with the purple hair and all that.
yeah. I think they said, I was looking at the Reddit and
It comes
just,
up
like,
again later. It's
yeah,
so creepy.
and the writers said that she has a name, so we might be getting some building of her mother in season 2.
Yeah, I'm expecting some flashbacks of their adolescence for sure.
I think it was like right around here where I was like, this is already got this like every frame a painting vibe. Where, like every still frame is like, okay.
Yeah.
Also the great seeing the characters now like de-aged. I didn't realize the show was gonna like hop around time so much. So I was like,
there's really only 2 hops in time. There's like the intro part here, and then after episode 3. Other than that, it's very linear.
And I usually
covers,
hate
it covers a pretty long span of time though. Like
it's 7 years, I think.
Oh, that's
it's about 7 years. Yeah.
Well, damn.
And that theory is based off of Jinx's hair growth.
Well, they also are you talking about going back in time with Jace as well? Because they go back in time with him.
Yeah, there's a few flashbacks here and there, but
there's
I'm not really talking about that.
I guess there's 3 then, or 4 actually.
3 or 4, I think there is. This is
every episode, each character gets like their own intro, at least for the most part.
Everyone gets a flashback except for Echo.
Yeah.
Echo's the little boy, right? Who shows up at
little
the
man.
Yeah. Right. Little man, there you go. That's his name. Echo. That's his grown-up name. I get it.
And
he is a video game character as well.
Vander's
so it's like a big reveal when he takes his clothes off and you see who he is. Because I remember being like, oh, it's that little kid.
This is significant, like we were talking about a couple minutes ago, the trauma. Yeah,
it's not said, but that's probably Vi's mom, just based on the reactions.
The nonverbal acting is what I was saying. And this next part where you see her reaction, that's like some of the best like facial animation I've ever seen.
Bag. Amazing. Thanks for showing up there, Bagface. You're always welcome on here, brother.
And also during the scene when Powder is singing her lullaby, she stops. So the end of it is come across the river and find the world below.
The world below.
Yeah, but instead of seeing the world below, she stops at and find, and then she finds the corpse of her dead mother.
Mm-hmm. And you could see her just registering everything.
Well, also, it's weird because she doesn't automatically cry. She kind of just looks at Vi. I don't think she cries because she just looks at Vi and kind of waits for acknowledgement of the situation. Which could show like how she connects herself to people. And
I also found it's pretty realistic that someone that young wouldn't know how to emotionally react in a situation like that. It would just be
there's a couple of tears,
sort of
but they're not. She's not actually crying like you're saying. She's got some emotion, but not like a lot. Because you see the streams down her face here, but it's not. You would think there would be a lot of crying, a lot more emotion trying to get it out.
She probably already got all her crying out earlier,
Yeah, she might actually be in shock.
Whatever the hell they're doing earlier before this.
Frame of Vi crying, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But that was good because she tries not to.
Yeah, that's fucking amazing animation.
And
that bit
also,
there when she's trying not to cry and then just it overwhelms her. And you get all that in an animated face performance, which is just crazy.
It's like, this is when I'm like, this show's gonna ugly cry.
You probably can get away with showing it. I'm just
tilted.
Yeah, you can.
Tilted.
Actually,
don't worry about gushing, man. Like, let her all out. Like, a lot of people love the show.
Let it out, man.
Let it out. This scene is
over your keyboard.
Seeing Vi collapse to the ground, and then you see Powder / Jinx. She's kind of like holding her, kind of being the responsible, like not responsible, but the adult kind of there to embrace her and try to let her know it's okay, like she's there,
probably reciprocal at that point, because he's definitely done that for her before, and that's all insinuated here, which is amazing. And they don't have to tell you, they show you, which I appreciate.
Another good piece of music is as soon as Vi starts crying, the viola, I believe it's a viola, I don't think it's a violin.
I think you are correct.
It's a viola, and it starts, and like, just, I don't know what it's called, but like the vibrato, I think it's called in musical terms, of just like this I don't know how I'm describing this.
Well,
I get you. I understand.
So, especially earlier in this part when he's sort of doing a bit of a more mellow solo, just sort of setting up the melody. he does this thing where he like, it's almost like a guitar squeal, if you know what that is. Well,
Mhm.
I know some of you do, but like intentionally making the instrument sound bad, right?
Mhm.
Where they sort of like make the string squeal as they're playing the note. It's an
You're
interesting.
making the violin cry.
It
Yeah.
does
know?
sound like it's crying.
Yeah. It's very
really
good.
Wasn't it Psycho that did the that screeching sound with like?
Yeah.
was that
Yeah,
what
it's
the-
kind of
yeah.
like that.
Harmonics
Yeah.
is what Eraser's Head's calling them.
Taylor Ramirez, thanks
yeah,
for joining us. You know, I haven't seen you on here, but thank you for joining us. Behind, but Echo does a flashback the music sequence in episode 7. Yes, it's right. And of course, my brother Jay Goodwin, Jay's Unite. Oh, good, something worth watching. Thanks, brother. Thanks.
Wait, Jay, have you not watched this? I need confirmation.
Yeah, is he talking about our stream or is he talking about Arcane?
Have you watched Arcane?
Yeah.
You better watch Arcane. This is not a question.
Arcane's probably worth watching, I want to say.
Spencer, did you watch all of it today?
Well, I woke up at 5 in the morning, and then I watched
he sent a message saying he woke
I
up
watched
at
like
5.
5 episodes, and then I did some work, and then I took the cat to the vet, and then I got back around 5, and that was about just enough time to finish it off. So, and yeah, finished it off, and then had enough time to like watch the first episode again at double speed, and just to kind of remember what was in the first episode we're gonna be talking about. So
that's a lot
Thanks,
to
bro.
cover in one day.
I appreciate that, Jay.
Good. Jay's watched Arcane. All right.
Yes.
All is right
You
with
have
the
to
world.
harass him.
I'm pretty sure he's seen everything ever made, if I'm honest.
Yeah, that guy is smart guy. Yeah, so this beginning is phenomenal. It just sets the tone for the whole series. I love it. And then we get into
Enzo's favorite song.
Oh,
I think I was going to ask. Well, before that, we got like I said, we got the strings doing this like legato like melody, and then it see the castle, and there's like a ben. Is that like literally the League of Legends theme?
No, I don't think
but,
so.
That melody is the same melody that Powder was singing the song in. Now it's just in its orchestral form.
Yeah, it's in a major key, I think.
But yeah, this song I hate. I fucking didn't like it. Like, first of all, I don't like dubstep, and second of all, the vocals come in, and it's like, ooh.
Yeah.
And then you see the title, title song by Imagine Dragons, and I'm like, oh, that's why I don't like the song. Okay. And it's just not I don't know. It's that millennial whoop with the ups and downs. It's just stop singing like that.
Well, the reason why they used Imagine Dragons was they were actually fans of the game
kilted, don't worry.
years ago. So that's why they.
I'm an old rocker, dude. Okay, I listen to Grateful Dead and shit. All right? This ain't my type of music.
They actually animated the band into the show, which is
that part.
Crazy.
We'll get to that in 4 weeks, but yeah. I was like, I can't.
Well, they made a whole music video based on the intro song too. I'm sure you'd love it. Good footage if you're making a video.
It just sounds like every Imagine Dragon. I don't listen to them, but every time I hear them, I'm like, oh, change it. Whatever this is. I don't know. That was that was Imagine Dragons.
Yeah.
That's the problem, Platoon. Like he's mentioning, I heard it for the first time and I thought I've heard it before. Then I realized it was Imagine Dragons. And it just sounds like any given Imagine Dragons song. Yeah, every song seems to be the same for them. And
First of all, like dubstep is such a fad that like came and went, and like we're gonna
incorporate
really
dubstep though.
It's got these like dubstep inspired like instrumental hits.
Yeah, it starts off. It starts off, and I'm getting into it, and then the lyrics come in, and I'm just like, I'm out.
Like for the first 5 or 6 seconds, you're like, this is pretty cool, and then he starts doing like this rap lyric.
Also, the visuals. Not to knock the visuals.
Platoon are on the same.
You're exactly right. I was going to bring this up because the music, it's the same with Blue Eye Samurai. The music doesn't fit the genre of the animation or story. It just
for this song.
This song,
there's a lot of songs that are being played throughout the show, and it's like with the nightclub stuff, and like the first time we see the town, and it's more of this.
Oh, welcome to the playground slaps! Don't even start. Oh,
I'm not,
dude. You got to play that on like an actual big system with a subwoofer. It actually sounds amazing. But
yeah, I did that.
Yeah, I mean, there are very talented music engineers, sound engineers that work in the music industry for sure. I'm sure it's very loud and has badass bass and pumps your system, but I don't know, man. I just like mellow music. But also, like, I would say Blue Eye Samurai had much less grating song choices. I think both of them had
disagree.
good
I
scores.
disagree
This one had a good
1,000 times over.
score.
Well, sir, thank you for joining us. Call me Chato.
Everything in
Arcane was way overrated. Everything in the Piltover was boring. If you're around, you can join us there. If I could send you the link, it would be nice if you want to hop in.
Yes, boring. My favorite complaint about anything.
Such a good argument. Like, how do you even argue against that? Oh,
It's boring.
Okay.
Well, I
mean,
found it interesting.
I
Gigi,
didn't
go
understand
next.
a whole lot what was going on, but yeah, the whole time I was just kind of just more blown away visually and.
Oh yeah, you have to watch it
action and
twice.
stuff. Oh damn! Really?
I've watched it way more than twice.
Yeah, I've watched it like 4 times. We get introduced to Vi. She's a lot older here, and she's a lot stronger. She's obviously a leader of these 3, or her sister and the 2 other individuals, Milo and Clagger. Yes.
This scene right here was some great world building right here. Just like real quick to the point. Also getting to know the characters. These 4 or 5 little kid characters, this Goonies ensemble we have. Yeah, we get this cool flyover of the city, and then this big Zeppelin like flies right over their heads. It's all pretty cool.
It's actually an airship.
Oh, boy.
It's also establishing the technology that they have currently.
Yes, it is steampunk, which means no electricity.
Oh yeah,
just steam, baby,
and magic.
Hextech, they call it. That's a cool name.
That is a giant pint. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But
I just like
schooners
I'm a
up there.
thirsty man. I'm actually 3 feet tall. This is a normal foot. This is normal glass.
The one question I had for you guys, the animation. Who does the animation? If you guys want to talk on that for 1 second.
That is Fortiche in Paris. That's France.
They are great.
They were very small when they took this on,
Yeah.
and they are now quite big.
I think they have to now make an entire show.
If I'm not mistaken, I think they had 13 animators when they signed on for this, and now they have like, I think over 100. They must have over 100.
It's
now.
Also crazy that they've never done work on a TV show ever.
No,
they
only did video game cutscenes.
Yeah,
like their first major production was the Get Jinxed video, which in comparison to this show kind of blows. But
well, I gotta say, as a graphic designer, digital illustrator, I gotta say I like this. Yeah, it looks like I see so many YouTubers like Bobby Chu and some other dudes that are these like really good speed painters, like digital painters. They can all Photoshop and just like paint crazy aliens and creatures and worlds in like less than an hour and speed it up and time lapse it. And a lot of this stuff just looks like those paintings, but just like animated somehow, it's just really good. Really cool vibe. I don't think I've ever seen a show animated quite like this either.
And the thing that really messed me up is there's no motion capture and there's no lighting engine. So all of the highlights and midtones and shadows that you see, that's all done by hand, but like it's done on a computer, but it's not, they didn't just hit ray trace go and wait for it to solve the lighting. They actually artistically did all of that.
Boom.
That's great animation right there.
It's fucking phenomenal design. Just crazy. You don't recognize anything.
Also, there's like they use a lot of 2D here because like those buildings, some of them are just 2D like matte paintings, I guess you want to use that term. And they're just shifting in perspective while the camera moves. So it's really great use of that. Also, you can see a lot of the French architecture inspiration here.
Hell yeah.
Also, like a lot of the 2D elements, like the smoke and various like sparks and flares, like those look like straight up just like Disney hand-drawn 2D animation.
Man. That's what they were going for too, because like, when you listen to the animators talk about it, it's called parallax shift, Jay. When you listen to the animators talk about this show, that's what they were talking about. They're like, we love all of the what would you call it? All of the ease that you get from these modern techniques, like Blender and all that, but like we're missing some of that heart and soul that we used to have in like old 2D Disney animation. So that's what they wanted to bring back with that, and I think they nailed it. I really appreciate that. But like, Yes, it is the entire. It's basically the entire B plot. They don't like the B plot, which is like, okay, it's not as strong as the A plot, obviously, but like it's not boring.
I'd argue that it's as strong.
Yeah, fair. Like look at the paper
Especially
trail behind that.
board, guys.
That's
There's
amazing.
just as much substance with like Jace and Victor as there is like Vi and Jinx.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially Victor.
It's just a completely different dynamic for people to like relate to, I think.
Yeah, and that's
one's
the
like
thing.
one's like
Like
a friendship, professional friendship, and the other one's like a sibling thing. So it just depends on, you know, life experience and what you connect with better. But
Yeah, and there's a lot of times in especially episodes 1 through 3 where they cut to the B plot, and I'm not even uninterested anymore. I'm just like, yeah, Jace is interesting. What's he doing? Especially how episode 2 starts. So
I don't
Jace
think
started
Jason's the
off
strongest
interesting.
character though. Yeah, he starts off really well.
Yeah, and then he just kind of, I don't know, it kind of fades out a little bit for me, and then he picks it up at the end. So, yeah. Well, we have another individual coming in, Mr. Paul Shadow. Thanks for joining us, sir. Welcome.
Hell yeah.
I'm going to be you can hate on me.
right.
Fine.
That's fine. Everyone can have their own take. I don't mind that.
It's all subjective.
Hate on me.
Oh, we got an
your
echo
YouTube
there.
link, your YouTube window's still open, Paul.
Hold on. There we go.
All right.
All right, cool.
Hell yeah. Well, cool.
So
I
what
have
is your take?
Well, a couple of things. Number one, I think my 2 Arcane reviews, I did an Arcane sort of like just like a quick overview. I'm an animation fan nut. I've done my own 3D. You know, I've got 3D games. But not. I thought it looked brilliant, but I had huge problems with the story, and so a couple things. And I can't remember everybody's names, so you'll have to help me with that. But I remember that, first of all, everything in Piltover was boring as shit. I hated the blue balls. Like, really? Okay. The guys weren't in the heroic guy, the guy with the, the jaw and everything. I
Jace?
thought that,
or Vander.
Jace or
Jace?
Vander.
The young one or the father figure?
Well, there was the guy with the crippled leg.
Victor.
That's Victor.
He was kind of interesting. But without getting into too many details, number one, Piltover looked like condominiums. Like I went, okay, this is great. This is condominium land. My biggest issue was there wasn't a connection between the two places. I would have really liked people from Piltover getting addicted to that shit that they were making in Zon and hiding it. And so then these rich people could be controlled by the bad people because they were addicted to it. There had to be a reason for them to be, and there was no connection that way, except for the fact that Piltover wanted to bomb the shit out of Zon. Like, I miss the drama of that. And then you had these meetings around the table of, yes, we're going to do stuff, and we're going to, no, don't use your special powers that you've created, this invention of yours, no, it goes against everything.
What the hell is that little thing, the furry guy? What is he?
Heimerdinger.
Yeah.
Heimerdinger?
Heimerdinger. I call him Oppenheimer.
Oh yeah, Heimerdinger. Yeah,
I call him Ewok in my video.
They don't even talk about it.
So to me, that was a really big problem with it. Now, listen, as I said in my review, it looked spectacular, like really amazing. But that first review I did, which was not really a review, was just because I just said, I saw the show. These are my thoughts. And the League of Legends flying monkeys, holy shit. They just descended on me. Like, it's like I
think
said
some of them are here now.
Taylor Swift. What?
Don't say it on the Arcane subreddit. They will crucify you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I won't go there. So
I have one hot take and I'll never hear the end of it.
The cult of Arcane.
And
Well, Platoon says the blue balls are the thing that link A and B plots together. The show's entire theme is captured in the blue balls. They are the connection. It links the factions together.
but I would have
It is a
liked
bit MacGuffin-y.
Yeah, I would have liked, let's say, the guys at the table maybe doing illegal trade in the goop that they were making in Zon.
Well, they are.
Well,
They actually are, though. Like if you see in the episode 4, there's a huge shipment of shimmer arriving
Right,
on an
no way.
airship that Jinx intercepts,
Right,
or
but
the Firelights intercept.
no, my
sorry.
point is that they were doing it in collusion with each other. There should have been a person like doing it against the will of the other people at the table. Like there needed to be just
So
more shit
Dr.
going on.
Durger should have been the bad, like the one, the
Oh, but
bad
it is what they're doing, Little Platoon. So I mean, I'm wrong. So I can't entirely remember. I mean, Little Platoon knows way better.
I'm
than
not
me.
gonna lie. I watched the whole show today, and a lot of it's a blur. I'm not gonna lie. I rewatched the first episode just for this.
I
episode,
wasn't
but,
a big fan of the antagonist. Oh no, he went to the person's house and threatened the kid.
Yeah, he had a spooky eye, which was
Yeah.
Platoon has the link. He's busy. He said he couldn't make it tonight. He will be here for the rest of the episodes. If he wants to come on, Platoon. You're more than welcome.
And then the only other thing was the constant pining of the one sister over the other one.
What do you
the
mean
shit
by
out
that
of me.
exactly?
Like, pardon me?
Vi and Jinx, like the heart
Vi
and
and
soul of
Jinx,
the
like,
entire
Vi,
show.
enough. Okay, she doesn't want you. Fuck off. Like, just leave it. Yeah, enough. And
So
and,
it's easy to say that you didn't connect with that
I
relationship
did
at
for
all.
a bit. I did for a bit, and then I
a
went.
bit much after.
And I went, stop, like, dude. And then the Oriental guy, the soldier who was really the spy,
Marcus.
that bugged me. That he screwed the main square jaw guy up, really, and the two of them should have had it out, as opposed to that pathetic death on the bridge.
Oh, Vander and Marcus should have had it out.
Yeah.
Or you're talking Jace.
I'm so confused.
Sorry. Anyway, my like the heroic guy.
That would be Jace. He was the one that's back to back with Vi when they were fighting back to back there at the end.
Yes.
There. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But there
Science guy.
the fight scenes were good. The big dike was great. I mean,
There was a couple of them.
No, you know what? There was some it was spectacularly done. I just wish that it could have emotionally connected and the story could have been better and I guess Vex.
That's all baffling to me, because this to me was like very emotional, and the two plot threads were very well tied together, in my opinion. Like if you follow the story of Vi and Jace, who are like your deuteragonists in this story, because the whole thing's mirrored just like the video game. Like every single plot point they go through,
Right, which I know
is
nothing about
mirrored
the
on the
video
other
game.
side, which is fantastic. You don't have to though.
No.
But I
didn't
do
really-
think the
like I
story
said-
points are very, very well connected. Like they all go through, like what would you call it? Their major obstacle at the same time. One fails when the other succeeds. It's very well connected that way. But I see what you're saying in a sense, but I think they were putting that off for season 2, because there is a lot that they're trying to bring across, like when in 9 episodes. But
So yeah, I feel myself more in the middle of the road. Like I said earlier, it kind of reminds me of like one of these Final Fantasy movies that I have no idea what's going on, but I still enjoy them. What this movie kind of reminds me of? It's like a mix between I don't know if you've seen Tales of Earthsea, kind of has that kind of vibe, or even I don't know, something along those lines, where it's like, yeah, it's a pretty cool looking animated movie with a really, like, you could fall asleep to it maybe. If I don't know, if you would just kind of put it on a base sensory level, it's very enjoyable. But even if it's confusing and strange, I still understand what's going on, like emotionally. I certainly wasn't like crying or anything at the end or getting all emotional, but I still get what's going on to enough degrees.
I think they could have nailed that and made it more emotional in the end. Jinx, basically was crazy.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Yeah, totally.
Agree.
She's more than crazy, but
No, she's mad.
Yeah.
She's absolutely mad. And I'm trying to remember, did she kill her mentor, the guy with the crazy eye?
Yes. Yeah.
Silco.
So
And
getting-
yeah.
Oh, go ahead
Yeah.
there, Paul.
No, I was just saying that it would have been nice to actually have the two girls at each other a little bit, and then she gets chained up at the end. Okay, wow. Okay,
Yeah.
there you go. Really, she's chained up and gets to watch, this stuff, this arcane porn go down in front of her. I mean, it was.
Well, you would have rather them have a boss fight on the roof at the end?
Yeah.
or-
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it's like kind of like what
I don't know if
I mean.
it'd be as
I know we're getting
substantive.
ahead of like the end of the show, but like I did
Sorry.
not appreciate the massive cliffhanger. Like I mean, like yeah, a couple things got resolved, but not really. Everything's just kind of building up to season 2, so it's
Well,
kind of
she
like
blew
one of
up.
those.
She's blown up Piltover. Apparently, I think.
Well,
She
she's
said-
blown.
Oh,
she's
yeah,
blown
she-
up the council room.
Right, I forgot. Yeah, the very end. Yes, and we didn't even get the joy of like
Yes,
seeing the
I was just
explosion
gonna
go
mention
down,
that.
which is a little bad. What are you gonna mention, Jay?
No, I was just like the sister story is the whole point of the arc, and that's what had me going throughout the series is the sisters. I wasn't
True.
invested in Jace as much. That
no.
whole monarchy,
Jace is kind of a weak character, and he becomes kind of weaker. Like right at the end, he has kind of a nice moment,
I
but
completely agree.
I don't think he's the weakest.
I don't think he's the weakest, but he
I still
started
think he's
off.
very strong.
Yeah, he started off as a. I was like intrigued by him, and then I was like, okay, where are they going with this character? And then he kind of goes flat a little bit. He's just there going through the motions of being put in this position, and his whole life has turned around. He's helping out his friend, his partner, and I don't want to say flat. It just becomes a little busy,
Well,
and you don't
Jace
really
is
get
kind of
invested.
dumb. Is the problem?
He gets caught up with the ego and the popularity and everything like that, and you kind of saw that coming. He's kind of
Yeah.
predictable a little bit, like his character. So I just this is like this is an okay character, and then the ending it got a little more. He got a little more interesting, but I was invested into Jinx and Vi throughout the whole series. But I
Yeah,
don't want to
that's
get too
the
far
key.
ahead. But
No, but that's the key to the show. Did Jinx get taken to the
that
Prison?
doctor.
no to God damn it, Piltover to speak to the
No, that was a Vi.
that was Vi.
Vi
So I mean, if I was writing this, I wouldn't have made Jinx so consistently similarly crazy all the way through. I would have given her some ups and downs where there needed to, Vi's commitment to Jinx and to prove that things are going to be okay, and then her betrayal. There wasn't a betrayal except between what Jinx was thinking was a betrayal because she saw the soldier girl who she thought
Well, that
Vi was
betrayal was
stroking.
all. That was Silco's doing. He sort of put that in her head because all the pieces
Sure.
were there on the ground, and she didn't have the faculty to put it together.
Right.
So Silco sort of manipulated her
Yep.
into making that her worldview. But she does have a lot of ups and downs. Like as far as
No,
I
she-
can tell, she's
yeah.
got multiple personality disorder, maybe even
Mhm.
schizophrenia. So like there's moments where you can see.
Schizophrenia.
But
There's moments when you can see where she's acting like Powder from the first 3 episodes, and then
Right.
there's scenes where something will trigger something in her, and then she goes absolutely batshit, which I think is a very, very interesting character. But
yeah, and then she makes something and blows innocent people up.
yeah, well, no one's morally good in this show, really. Maybe Echo.
Well, I think with her, she's trying to find where she belongs, and she belongs with her sister. But the more she hears the whispering, the more she's going through the paces with her sister. She realizes she's not, belonging there, and she belongs somewhere else. And just like a typical at-risk youth that's gone through a lot of trauma, they gravitate to something where they can belong, where they can follow, where they can feel like they're wanted. And that's what you're seeing with Jinx. That's my take on it. But getting back to this is the introduction to episode 1, where we're seeing Powder just kind of, being kind of that innocent youth. and Vi kind of teaching the tricks of the streets and everything. You guys can go ahead and chime in at any time if you got something to say.
Well, we skipped right over the cupcakes.
Oh yeah, the
The
cupcakes.
not insignificant cupcakes.
I thought the way they introduced Milo and I always forget the other
Clagger.
Clagger. I always want to say Clugger. I like how they portrayed, especially later on when Vi starts talking to him in the basement there. How he just wants to blame everyone for and point out their mistakes.
Yep.
So yeah,
Yeah,
we're
like-
getting into them looking to rob this place that they got word from the little man that there's a lot of treasure here, and they're just talking about the north and how there's lots of guards. There's like Vander's going to kill them, as he's saying here. I know you got lots to say, Amateur. Go ahead, spill, man, because this is your you and Andrew. This is your world, man. Go ahead.
Well, they're setting up a lot of stuff here, like the dynamic between the two places. Like they're not even allowed up here, right? So they have to jump across rooftops and all that. You get a bit of that like Robin Hood kind of vibe, steal from the rich because they can afford it, kind of thing. You're getting a hell of a lot of character work without really sort of beating you over the head with exposition. Like we know Vi's the leader. Did they tell us that? No. She's always in front. She always has the ideas. She always has something slightly more intelligent and disciplined to say than the other ones. Whereas, like you said, Milo is just constantly negative about
The
everything
eyebrows.
that everyone's doing. Yeah, he's always looking for something to blame. Never really.
I like how the big
himself.
guy, you kind of think he's going to be a certain way, and you realize like now he kind of holds his own pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think he's going to be kind of a nerd, but he's not really. He's more the muscle,
And I have a theory that he has a crush on Vi, which is kind of funny.
Duh.
Yeah, so this is the group. They're entering in this room, this house that is owned by a venter.
Condo.
It's owned by the Caramans.
Condo.
It's owned by the Caramans, which are actually the parents of Caitlin. Miss
Okay.
Purple Hair.
Right.
sniper
Yeah, is there a
rifle.
specific reason they chose this place? Like someone scouted it, right? Echo told them about it, right?
Echo.
Yeah,
what we found
'cause,
out. Okay. Yeah.
We just have to
I
assume
remember
that it was
that.
Jace went down to the Undercity, which he did, and bought a bunch of shit from there, and that's how they knew that he had a bunch of stuff because he
He
just
didn't
had
even
money
haggle.
to throw around. Yeah, he didn't even haggle. Charged him double price. He didn't care. So they knew it was filled with stuff, so they're gonna hit it up, which is pretty realistic if you ask me. Kind of clever. They didn't have to have all that there for us, but they did.
Yeah. Well, Little Man was probably like, hey, he's got a lot of money. I'm going to follow him up to topside and see where he's going. Gets this place, gets the address or whatever this world calls that, or what their navigation system's like.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it says, hey, Vi, look.
A little tidbit I would like to point out: all the items that they put in the bag, which they lose, Jinx uncovers them all later and has them in her room,
Mm.
Right.
which is pretty neat.
Cool.
There's a lot of those. There's like
This
a
is where
million
they
freaking Easter
find a
eggs.
blue ball, right?
Y'all are
Yeah,
Yeah.
this
This is where they
the
find all the
original
blue balls, man.
Yeah,
I think there's like 5. It's crazy.
There's at least
yeah.
two.
These are more like blue rocks. The other
Yeah,
you get
but
blue balls later.
This is the anti-male side of it, where they're just crushing blue balls.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. And they explode.
Yeah, and they
Well,
explode.
isn't that normal for all of us in our teen years?
Yes.
Those women, what they do to us, those teasers.
Oh God.
Yeah, there was I think there was 5 in the box, and there was one that was in the other room that she
5.
found.
There's like 20, isn't there? Anyway,
Is there 20?
Sandwiches.
there's a bunch, isn't there? I don't know. I'm having a hard time remembering.
Ooh,
I wonder, does anyone know how long it took them to actually make
5.
6.
this animation?
2 years. Oh, sorry. They worked on it for 6 years, but yeah,
Whoa.
it's sort of hard to say because they were just sort of like on little bits and pieces because they didn't.
Sure.
The show wasn't made like a normal show. It's made by a video game company
Sure,
with
yeah.
an independent animator. So like there really was no major schedule, but they say like with the facilities that they built and the pipeline that they made, by the time they were done making this, they're like, yeah, it was probably a 2-year thing to make one of these. So takes a while. 2 years
Oh,
is
no.
pretty fast to make
That's
something
actually
like this.
pretty good.
Yeah.
And the show was originally canned, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Like
cool.
they
There was a
made it-
completely different script, and I read it,
Yeah.
and it's not great.
CLS, thanks for jumping in there.
I want to
brother.
get that script actually. I want to see.
Someone had it linked on the Arcane subreddit.
I'll try to find it.
I don't actually have it, but I'm sure you could just Google it. but-
Yeah.
And this is where the blue rock falls, and all of a sudden we get the boom.
The Hex
And
Tech
we-
gemstone.
Got to stabilize the rock. Got to stabilize it. If only we could stabilize it, then it would be stable, and we could stabilize it, and then it'd be stable. Oh man, if only we could stabilize it. Fuck.
Well, that's magic.
Plutonium. They're all gonna die of
Magic.
radiation poisoning now.
The chase scene's good. I like the animation for the chase. I
Very
like
nice.
the angles, the camera shots they do with this is really
Oh,
good.
the camera work in this whole show is like
Oh,
second to
yeah.
none in animation.
Yeah.
It's like, holy cow, they're treating it like it's a real camera, and then they start doing things that you can't do with a real camera, which is really
Yeah.
neat.
That's how I feel about a lot of the Brad Bird, especially like Ratatouille and Incredibles specifically. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah,
there's
The
so
Incredibles
many
is amazing.
awesome. There's a specific shot in Ratatouille where the rat has got the thing in the piece of paper in his mouth, and he's running, and the dude's chasing him on a
Yeah.
Vespa.
Yeah,
The
and you're following
camera
them.
is like following the rat, and the camera's like hovering like 2 inches over the ground, and it's one of these shots that you could never do something like that with a real
Although,
camera, but it's so seamless and
one
awesome.
one of Pixar's rules, because I have a friend who worked for Pixar, was that, and that's why Pixar's stuff looks so different, is that the rule was there should not be any shot that could not be accomplished by a camera.
Well, it would be very difficult to do that shot. I'm sure it's possible, but
Well,
yeah,
with a
it's such
GoPro
a
or
great
something
shot.
like that.
Yeah,
But
it's
I
such a
know what
good
you mean,
shot.
but again, they have lenses and
Yeah,
and they're
totally.
they do purposely, they do dollies.
Focus and
Motion
motion
control
shifts and all
rigs.
that good stuff.
Yeah,
I love
so
it.
and they've got rigs and crane shots. They don't make it look like a video game. That's what Pixar's stuff. Well, when they were good.
Yeah,
I think another
The
thing that,
animators are still good.
the
Elemental is
animation
good,
is
thing
just
but-
the stories.
another thing you don't need to do with animation is camera A, camera B. Like a lot of animated stuff like this, and like that Final Fantasy movie, like I keep saying, every shot is like the camera's in a new location. Like it's a one camera kind of show, and like even though you'll have a scene that takes place in one setting, the camera's always kind of doing. It doesn't really cross the 180 rule or anything too drastic, but you'll have some really great staging shots, and because why not? Yeah, you don't have to spend so much time setting
Yeah,
up these
I
shots
agree.
and stuff. It's dope.
You know what? If someone was smart, they'd actually put the old shaky, when you were doing a push in with a camera, and it was
Oh,
on a
right.
very bad dolly.
I love
Yeah.
that look. I know
Yeah.
exactly
where they
what you're
had
talking
like
about.
nice analog wheels.
Yeah,
it was
but-
just sort of like jerky.
Jerky, yeah.
I love
Yeah,
that.
it's like I'm at the end of my stroke on the zoom
Yeah, so
wheel,
you
so
gotta
you can
slow
see
down.
it in the pull in. Yeah,
You gotta slow down
I
and make it longer.
I
Didn't
also
they
like
do
all
that
those
in the
early car
holdovers a bunch?
shots. Yeah, early car shots where the camera's on the hood and you can like the car's vibrating a
Oh,
lot.
Bag, you messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got the link, Bag. If you want to join, you can jump in.
Canadian
Oh, is there 3
legends.
Canadians on the panel now?
Yeah,
You-
there's 3 Canadians on here.
Andrew, are you
Um,
Canadian? No.
No, Chateau is.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
one.
I'm proud Canadian.
I'm
Or
one.
American, not
I don't know if
Canadian.
you
one.
can tell if I'm Canadian or not, but
Afraid so.
You're too
Afraid
polite.
so.
Zach's
sorry.
is a big fan of
So
yours.
sorry.
I think Zach's mentioned your father. His father was a big fan of yours, there, Paul.
Yeah.
Mr.
yeah.
Canoe Head in the house, back guys. That's far too many Canadians.
yeah, we're just wannabe British, I guess,
Yeah.
or
No,
American.
No, we're not.
we don't really
yeah,
have a
no,
culture.
We're
Simping for the Queen all the
we're
time.
just
for some
crappy
reason.
bit
Boy.
British. That's all we
Yeah.
are.
Well, getting back to this, this is where Milo starts. You see the characteristics of Milo a little bit more, where he starts to blame Powder a lot
Kinda-
more.
Kind of reminds me of Butch Patrick from the Munsters a little bit.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Eddie Munster.
Yeah.
mhm.
He does,
Ah.
doesn't he?
My uncle
would-
was roommates with him for a while.
I would like to point out too, just the way they animate these characters move and how they respond to reacting to the world around them. Like they tell a lot about their character. Like if you just look at the way each of them goes down the tube, You know, like one of them is getting pushed down against his will and it's like all sporadic and doesn't know what's going on. And then Vi goes down. She's all controlled and like deliberate about it. They do that like basically with every shot and everything these characters do, which is really cool. Because you learn so much about them without having
Joy
exposition
Reid is a
dumps.
terrible human being. Someone just brought up Joy Reid, and I'm just would like to point out that.
Oh man, yes, she is. I would say that the one thing that you notice with these rotoscoped and these mocap movies is they don't have this exaggeration that you get with like stuff you drew from your head, an animation from your mind's eye. That exaggeration, especially with animation, frame by frame, like it really sells it harder than you would just like tracing something.
Yeah, I agree with Little Platoon here. This was a very strange intro.
Yeah. You talk about good example of subverted expectations.
Episode 3.
You've got a whole cast of fully formed characters here, and then
they kill half of them off.
I don't know if he's talking about the panel or if he's talking about the show.
Well, it's funny because like I saw, just like Blue Eye Samurai, I saw the first 4 episodes and then took a break, and that was the same thing with this one. And like, taking a break after episode 4 was like, oh, okay, the show. I gotta gauge my expectations. This show's gonna get much broader.
I'm not gonna lie. When I saw this fight scene, I'm like, oh boy, we're gonna have a Mary Sue. I was really worried about this.
Nope, but then she gets punched in the face.
Dude, the first shot in the fight, she hits the guy over the head with the bag, throws it over to Jinx, and then she goes to fight and then just gets clobbered.
What a great shot there.
Yeah, I wasn't really worried about the Mary Sue-ness. I was just like, as soon as she gets punched, I was like, all right, like actual villains, who will hit women in the face and do crazy crap, Yeah.
And I believe that's
when this bald guy gets hit in the face multiple times or like elbowed in the nose, like that stuff looked painful, even though it's a cartoon.
Gemma Lama, I think this is part where Powder is eavesdropping and hears Vi and Milo kind of begging on her, but leaves before Vi flips. Yeah, this we're going to get to this right away. That's a good point. And there was another point here I wanted to get to, but okay, never mind.
Yeah,
okay, this part right here, I like how they did this, where he's putting up the guard when he's getting punched. You don't really see that when it comes down. I'm like pointing at the screen, but you don't really see that in animation. You just see them, taking the punches, and then they kind of retaliate back. I really appreciated this
because they had a consultant for choreography.
Well, they're also a French animator, and no one wants to hit French people in the face. They're afraid of being hit in the face. They go, don't hit my face. Please don't hit me in the face.
Yeah.
No. They're from 21st century Paris. They fight every day. What are you talking about? That's right.
But don't hit me in the face. Hit me in the other area.
Stab me all you want. Just no punching in the face.
Hit me in the croissant.
Great shot.
This shot.
I love how they animate the spit.
Yeah.
They do that a lot in this show. It's great. Because you do have like fluids fly out of your mouth when you get punched across the face. Can confirm.
The fight scenes were somewhat believable in this. I appreciated them. Whereas like in Blue Eye Samurai, you get a lot of exaggeration and
I think this is one of the weaker scenes, at least compared to the other two I'm thinking of. But
Blue Eye Samurai has more
good
gore
setup
and stuff. Whereas this, like these physical like punches and hits, you feel them. They look painful, even though, like I said, it's illustrated.
Even when the bad guy like gets
does the arm bar, and you can watch his bone flex, and then
I
you can
almost
watch
feel
Buddy's
bad
like
for him.
face cave in. Yeah, you can feel it. It's good.
I think
animation.
later, post time skip, you actually see that guy, and he has a prosthetic nose.
Yeah, you do. I forgot about that. There's one really cool shot in here though, where it's like the camera pulls wide, and they're all just like right in the middle of it, and the music like does this nice sort of serene sounding thing, but they're all like just beating the shit out of each other. That's kind of a neat moment. Right here. Yeah, this is an excellent shot. Yeah. They're all just getting their fucking asses handed to them.
And not Vi, but Jinx in the background, like, I do not belong here.
The thing that we haven't touched on too, and I want to just go back to like when we're there on the other side of the bridge and everything was bright and vibrant. The lighting was really well done. And then it's similar to Blue Eye Samurai where they set the tones with the color palettes and the grittiness when they get back to this part of town. Really well done to set the scenery and the tone for each.
Yeah, the set dressing, the background design,
contrast for each. Yeah.
Progressively getting darker.
Yes, it's great. I really appreciate that as well.
Yeah, we still got a lot of earthy tones on the surface, but once they go below, it's all like these weird sickly greens.
Yeah, the browns, the grays.
Blacks.
Go back 10 seconds. Go back one. Doesn't this have like a weird like steampunk kind of Norman Rockwell kind of vibe to it?
I think that's what they were going for, man.
It's weird. I love it.
Yeah.
It's almost like a Renaissance painting with that weird arch behind powder. It's kind of funny.
It's just, yeah.
And then we're seeing like
How
again,
much
we're
of this
seeing
look comes from League of Legends? Because isn't League of Legends one of those stupid multiplayer top-down things where you attack pylons and?
Dude,
the only thing I would say that
I thought it was like
the
a
only
freeware
thing
game. Just
the only thing that I would say is like brought over from the games is that kind of pastel look. Where everything's sort of like these hard colors that look like they're drawn with a pastel. Like that's about the only thing. Like all the character designs have been like dramatically changed and in my opinion for the better. Yeah, they're all major improvements, especially Jinx.
Yeah, Jinx and Vi in the game doesn't look like a boxer. Like she doesn't look like
she
a
looks
brawler
like some
at all.
Biker chick.
Yeah, the only thing that makes her look like a boxer is her gloves. Like she's wearing like a weird corset. It's like, what are we doing here?
But in here, she looks like she's trying out for UFC or something. She's even got like the wrist wrapped up and
mess
stuff.
You up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fight scenes are great.
Mm-hmm.
I don't begrudge the fight scenes.
Well, Fortiche is known for making cutscenes for video games. So
this
part
right here was a little much. I think this was a little
no.
Going up to the knife.
I disagree.
That knife and
really
show you where that belongs.
No, so this part of her character, right? She'll do all this and then she'll stare you down. Like she didn't win. She didn't win when she won the fight. She won when she won this stare down. Like this beat up guy, she pulls out a knife and says, "Wait." And not only is it her, it's her and two other people. So she goes up to him and says, "Hey, do you really want to know how that ends?" And he doesn't. Like she's just like she's staring down someone and asserting herself as the dominant person.
Sensei Copa, thanks for jumping. Here's the thing, because I work with
Runners is better than Arcane. I'm officially triggered. That's it.
Yeah. Here's the
Fucking
thing.
anime.
I work with at-risk youth every day, and I see these kind of kids every day. And when a kid has a knife, he's going to use it, especially when a kid like this on the streets. I'm just taking my personal experience. Yes, beat up.
Good to know.
Especially when beat up. That's when they're like feeling that they feel like a trapped animal. They're ready. They'll gnaw off their own leg to kill you because they have nothing to lose at that point. So like that's where I was kind of like, okay, it's a little dramatic. I get it. I don't hate it. I get it. It's just I just think it's just a little too much. It's a good scene. It's just, to me, it was just a little too much. It works for the show. I'm not taking that away from everything, but just based on my experience working with these kind of kids every day, it just is a little much.
You want to get up in a kid's face and call his bluff like she did?
Yeah, try confronting an at-risk old person.
Well, I think it's in her character because she very much looks up to Vander and is the next version of Vander going forward. And I think this is something that Vander would do, and I think this is something that Vi would do as well.
Oh, Vi, yeah, Vi. I'm not disagreeing with Vi. Like if Vi going, I think he would stab her though. I think he would.
I could see that argument, but it's good character work here for both of them, really. But
I don't even think he would, based on his character built thus far. Like he doesn't seem like a lunatic. But
he is a desperate street kid.
He wanted the loot. got his ass beat, and now he's like barely holding on because he's limping, and he's
Well,
probably like, and he's also, keep in mind, he's also working for Silco.
Bingo. I was about to say he's not there for
So-
the loot. He's only supposed to follow them and to report
and
back.
he shouldn't be talking.
So if
to
he
them at
actually
all. So
stabs
he's already
her-
messed up.
Yeah.
So I think it's fine.
Well, I'm not saying it's not. I don't want you thinking that. I hate it. Like it's just, it was just like a little off for me. It was just like, okay, like I get what they're doing here, but just like based on like, and I'm taking this. This is subjective to me right here, where I'm sitting there like, I'm not being objective. I'm being subjective, and I'm just like, okay, this is. I know how this would roll just based on my experience dealing with these kids, and especially when kids are in that position. And especially when they have a gang leader they have to go back to, they wouldn't go back. They would like saying that they got their ass kicked, because like that's a no when it comes to gang mentality.
Yeah.
So,
I see a knife on the street, I run. That's just.
Oh yeah, look at this. Are you gonna fight that? She's a lion, dude.
INS.
Yeah, she definitely wants to be on top.
Oh, Jay Goodwin. Gooch is right though. He's had his ass. I've never had my ass beat, so I don't know. Right off the hop, I've never had my ass beat. But adrenaline fear will cause him to lash out. He's talking about, okay, he's had his ass beat, and you have someone advancing on him while he wields a knife. Adrenaline and fear will cause him to lash out if you get too close. That's exactly it. He's an injured animal at the point.
Well, what prevents him from lashing out? This face.
Yeah.
Also, again,
intimidation.
He's probably more scared of what Silco's gonna think of what he's just done. So
Yeah,
he's probably like, I gotta go back now. And just tell him everything that I know right now.
That's kind of how I looked at the scene, because like he wasn't supposed to get involved at all, so he's already stepped like on his toes.
This part too with Powder as she's running, like this is another trauma piece to add on top of her history. She's running for her life, she feels, and then she's fails with her little bomb experiment here.
Keep in mind, she intended to kill that man because she put nails in that. So it's kind of like that sociopathic. Is it psychopathic or so? I don't know. It's one of them where she doesn't care about the other person's life.
They both mean the same thing.
Sociopath. Yeah.
No, they both mean the same thing. Sociopath and psychopath they mean.
Psychopaths care about themselves, though. Like they'll get upset when bad things happen to them. I don't think sociopaths care at all about anything. I have no idea. I don't know what the difference is.
Well, that little grenade thing is that's a piece of fan service from the game. That's like an ability she has.
A little nail.
I love the face here. I love the face. Like it just.
Oh, I hope I make this guy.
Yeah,
that little like 5 nails going
off as a dud, and you're like, that little kid tried to kill me.
Yeah.
Well, it's self-defense. Fuck that guy. He's like what in his late teens, going after a girl who's probably 11.
I was gonna rough you up and take your bag. You were gonna try to blow my legs off.
Good. Fuck that guy.
I would have liked the show way better if we had seen a series of like plus 20, plus 30, plus 100 as the characters were dying and getting hit. I would.
Yes, they're life
health,
like
HP bars.
Yeah. And then they're returning back to the underground, and Jinx's ruins every job.
Foreshadow.
Yeah.
Jinx.
It's the meme where it's like, I shouldn't have said that.
This is fantastic. This shot, the perspective, everything, the layout, it's phenomenal.
Yep.
I love this.
Yeah, it's like the Barrows, the Narrows, excuse me, from Batman. Gotham.
Yeah. Yep. And then we get Imagine Dragons again. I
don't think
this is Imagine Dragons. This is B. Miller.
Oh,
yeah.
Pardon me.
The song is called Playground.
Listen, don't insult them like that, all right? Jeez, come on.
So the Zon is kind of Art Nouveau-ish, whereas Piltover is Art Deco.
Yeah,
I could see that.
Yeah, that's exactly how
Yes.
I described that opening record player illustration. It was very Art Deco. Yeah, just it seems very clean and refined and I don't know, elegant.
White.
Yeah.
White.
Art Deco lends itself to
Yeah,
steampunk
you
really well
white
too.
people.
You
Ugh.
white people.
Ugh.
Hey, they aren't all white. Some of them are little Ewok people.
Yeah, I like how this
Yurtles.
this working lady,
Yurtles.
this working elf lady ends up becoming like the head of the whole brothel, right?
Well,
yeah,
and the
that's so
little
great.
gremlin from Harry Potter became a trans here. Like, I don't know when that happened. He's in here.
I was gonna
Would
make a
you
joke, but I
guys-
better not.
It's on the house. It's on the house. She's gonna she'll take care of you on the house.
Yeah.
I
You
think I'm good.
interested? Think you're good? All right, just checking.
That's a troll
Celestial.
doll. One thing I do want to point out about the song, which is kind of neat, is what's happening on screen is exactly what the lyrics are. And as they go into the bar, it very seamlessly transitions to the sort of the music in the bar being played, which I thought was really cool.
Mhm.
Sound editing.
Ed Kemper was
Kemper.
a delicate soul.
Ed Kemper's issue was he loved too much.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Now, are these two characters from the game also? Because I felt
No.
like they were going to come back and they
No.
didn't.
No,
It
they
seemed
aren't.
like they were
Although
important.
the knife she has is an item. I don't know what it's called or what it does, but it is an item.
Well, that is one thing I would criticize. The part of this episode is like, yeah, these characters. I was definitely like, okay,
Yeah, the
These
beard
seem
that
like-
goes right to his eyeball.
Dude, it's
These
like
are
right
your-
here.
yeah. Hairy cheeks. Yeah.
Hey man, I'm kind of jealous. Mine's kind of patchy there.
Dude, I got nothing there. Are you kidding me? Mine stops here.
I can't wait to chop
Yeah.
all my damn hair off soon.
Oh, and this character here is sort of an unintentional cameo by I think it's Alex Yee, one of the writers. He looks identical
you
to
see
this
Alex
guy.
Yee's name all over the credits. He's like producer and
He's the
creator
writer.
and
He's one of the
writer.
co-writers, yeah.
You want
Self-insert.
to treat us-
Self-insert.
creators
Yeah.
of the game? Yeah. He's like
And
one of the
then we
writers of
get
the game or just
introduced
the show.
to. We get introduced.
Well, it's
to
both
Vander.
because Riot is the game. Vander is also not from the game either.
Oh, he's not.
But there's a whole theory around that. He might be Warwick, maybe not, but
Mm.
I think it
have
would
no
be
idea.
bad.
They
Well, they
call-
already call him the Wolf of the Underground.
Yeah, Hound of the
which-
Underground.
Or Hound of the Underground, sorry.
Here's
So
something
it's
I
like,
appreciated about this show, and I figured this out right around here. I was like, who's this guy's voice? This Vander guy. His voice sounds familiar. This is something I do whenever I watch animated stuff. It's like, whose voice is this? It's bothering me. And I looked it up and I realized there's no celebrities in this movie or the show.
Except Haley
So-
Steinfeld.
So yeah,
Mommy
I don't
Haley
know-
Steinfeld.
I don't even know who she is really. I looked her up.
My
but yeah.
wife.
But that's I appreciate that when you use
Mm-hmm.
like just voice actors who kind of blend in and they don't have
Yeah.
distracting like, oh, it's Chris Farley or whoever talking.
Oh yeah,
and
that
he's just-
does. Yeah, sure. That
Yeah, I hate it
bothers
when
me.
he puts big stars in. It drives me nuts. That started with Shrek. That was the norm after, like post Shrek for sure.
yeah.
But
I
I
spend
do
most of the
appreciate
time
when
just,
they
like,
have
looking it up because yeah.
yeah
voice
they have a lot of
actors.
people in here that have done like other video game work or like maybe cartoon work
Totes.
in the early 2000s. But
Yeah, the
other
Vander
than that,
guy.
there's no big names.
The Vander guy has such a great voice, and I was like, "Oh, is this I can't remember what British actor I thought it was, like Ray
French.
Stone or
You
somebody."
see the dad guy?
Yeah,
the
Vander,
dad
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like the surrogate father.
You know what?
JB Blanc.
He was one of my favorite characters,
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
and I went, "Oh, great, he gets killed. Good."
Just like
Yeah.
how I like this big fat.
Well,
kid
he's
with
the mentor.
goggles,
He
you
has
know?
to be killed in order
I
for it to be monomyth.
No, I get it, but it would have been nice to find like him. That's him. Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought he was really well rendered and
Yeah.
characterized, and then great, they killed him.
Yeah, they nailed the archetype with him for sure.
Yeah,
That
Yeah.
like wise
then-
mentor.
yeah, and he gives
whatever.
the kids hope, and even
Yeah.
though he's a rough and tough, guy,
Yeah.
it would have been interesting to find a way to, keep him somehow, even if it was just a head in a jar, something. I don't know.
they could have.
It's just
They
like
have the
a
technology.
plastic bag. They just
Yeah, we'll
carry
put him on the
around.
shelf right next to Nixon.
Yeah,
The
that's right.
one thing I really liked about the
All
the
right.
one thing I really liked about the character dynamic between Vander and Vi is he's like he sees a lot of himself in her, obviously, because
Yep.
she's sort of growing up to become him or pick up where he left off kind of deal. But he's also trying to teach her the hard lessons that that he learned, right? Without her having to, you know, go through that all, but obviously she won't. You know, that's I think we've all experienced that with like our dads or older brothers or whatever mentor we've had in our lives, and it's
I've
just
had
like
none. It's been
you've had
terrible. None.
That's why we're all on YouTube, I guess. No one told us it was
right.
a bad idea.
We're all just a bunch of narcissists.
I've only got one new car left in my life. That's it, and I'm done.
Right.
The car lasts 10 years. That's it. I'm done. I measure my life now in just how many cars are left in my life.
Pets.
Well, the way they
Pets,
make them now,
too.
you'll probably have 10 before you die.
Yeah. Oh, God. Think of the poor sucker who buys a fucking parrot and it lasts 200 years.
Oh,
Jesus
yeah.
Christ.
Or a turtle.
Our turtles, too.
80
Yeah,
years, yeah.
That's it.
Easily.
You put them in their will.
It's
People do. People put their
Yeah.
those long-lived
Well, you
animals
have
in
to.
their
It's
will.
going to outlive you
like
by
that
like
Norm
50
Macdonald
years.
joke. It's like, I give all my money to Miss Sniffles, who I love. Also, fuck the homeless, right? Whatever. Was that Norm Macdonald? Who was that? I can't remember.
Sounds
David
like
Cross.
it.
That was David Cross. No. Oh, God. Anyway,
Yeah.
Jay,
Yeah,
how did it go?
Yeah, I just had to do something there.
Well, I
Um,
appreciate you
Yeah.
for not having a cup like some of these other YouTubers we know.
Yeah, this part is very telling, the relationship between Vander and Vi here. You're seeing her kind of rebel against her, I guess you can call him like a father figure.
Yeah.
And
She's not really rebelling, though. She's sort of like unintentionally exposing the kind of corrupt deal he has going on, which he can't really talk about because
Right.
he's like risking their safety.
Yeah.
Right.
She's more or less like slowly revealing his flaws, kind of. I wouldn't really call it rebel. It's like half she's defending she's defending like what they did wrong that day. And she's also putting all the blame on herself, which, you know, goes against the whole Mary Sue argument. This is when I actually really started liking this character, because it's like she's willing to put herself in the line of fire for her cohorts, which is great. That's what a leader should do. If it was a Mary Sue, everything would be fine. Everything she did is perfect, which it isn't. But, you know, Vander is you know, we'll stay out of Piltover's business if they stay out of ours. Well, she stepped over the line, and now she wants answers. Well, why can't we take from them? Like, isn't this our right or whatever?
Well, she also idolizes strength and power, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
She's powerful. She's a boxer. Raw strength is what she values in people, and that's what she sees in Vander and what she looks up to in Vander. She's learning all the wrong lessons from him. Like he fought on the bridge against Piltover, and look what that brought him: death and destruction to everyone that he knows and loves. With Vi, she doesn't know that. Yeah, she doesn't know this yet. So she just sees what's wrong. Let's just take him down.
But here's the thing, though. She learns and accepts it, which I think is
learning?
pretty interesting, because we never really get that with characters anymore. They just sort of start this way. They have their end goal in mind, and they just go straight there. But
And
Also-
this is one of the things I never got in the overall story was, why were they just wanting to take Piltover down?
because that's what the underdog always does.
Well, it was just stupid. It's like I went.
They got
really?
it. They got
Well,
it's the
it's
haves and
better.
the have-nots.
Gotta
They hate
take
them.
them.
They hate them because they
down.
got they hate us because they ain't us. That's what the Piltover people are saying. Is it just me, or does Vander's garter belt / his belt, does that seem practical? It seems very
It's like a
cumbersome
lifting
and
belt.
weird.
There's a lot of buckle shit going on.
Listen,
Yeah.
right after
He's
this,
got a
he's going
bad
to the
back.
gym.
He's
Yeah.
got a real bad back.
Getting back to the grind.
I won the Zone MMA.
Yeah, they gave me a belt.
Kilted because Piltover dumps
Yeah.
their waste, and
You have to
treats
put
them
your
like
belt on
trash.
with a
Also-
ratchet.
Also, Piltover leaves them behind in technology. Like they don't share their technology with the Undercity, and the Undercity wants that. I think this is Silco's.
Tim
Silco's
just
saying,
made the best point.
Just
"You live
had to
in
jump
Canada,
in
you
there.
Don't
eh,
get why
Platoon?
someone would want to tear down the elites."
Well,
Hey, at least we don't have Chuckles in charge. Although
he's right.
Trudeau's not a winner.
Little
Yeah, he
Platoon is
is.
right. The UK
He
is
is.
filled with nothing but elites.
Yeah.
Yeah, British people, especially Platoon. Hate
Oh
me.
yeah, with that silver-tongued devil way of speaking. Yeah, doesn't sound
Stiff upper
too
lip, see?
Also something that I like in the scene, which is something that like it is a trope that I like to see done well, but when it's not done well, it really just like makes me irritated. Like in like Ant-Man Quantumania, this is like the worst version of it, where the mentored figure, or like the Herald character, which was Hank, or not Hank, Ant-Man, what's his name, Scott Lang, yeah.
Mhm.
His daughter just like belittles him, and he doesn't say anything. Like he's just like, oh, okay, anyway, let's eat
Yeah.
dinner with the family. In this, she says, when did you get so comfortable living under someone's shadow?
Yeah.
And then
Everyone leave.
immediately, Vander's like, no.
Sit the fuck down.
Well, she's portraying a typical teen girl. Like that's the
Yeah.
way she should be written as. Like that's a teen
She's not-
girl.
She's not mad or doesn't hate her.
She wants
higher-ups or
answers. Why
others.
can't we go after this? What
Yeah.
do you have going on? Tell me.
Just
Um,
frustrated.
Well, Paul, you got to leave.
Yep.
Thank you for joining us. You're more than welcome to join next week. Mr.
Hell yeah.
Platoon will be here to, retaliate back, eating face to face.
Yeah,
Um,
thanks for coming on, man.
To his face.
Oh no.
Anything you want to mention before you take off?
Nothing. Just to keep up the good work. I think this is a show that's worth discussing, and hopefully the flying monkeys don't come after you because
Yeah.
nasty. I
Gamer
love you
Bros.
too. You know I love you, little Platoon.
Platoon's
Yeah.
great.
He's one of
It
my
was fun
favorites.
streaming with you again, Paul
Yeah.
Chateau.
Well, we
Yes.
need to. Well, we need to do that. I like how Little Platoon supports so many channels. I think he's a great guy.
He is.
And,
He is a great guy.
what was I going to say? No, that's it. I think this show is worth discussing, and like I said, I think it could have been much better with just a little bit of tweaking, but I wish them luck with season 2. It was a huge hit on Netflix, so
Yeah.
That's my worry. Season 2. That I'm not gonna lie. I'm concerned about it.
I'm not worried. I think it's in good hands. I really do.
Sequels are always tough, dude. They're like
Yeah, but they're
too many
just
people get
getting
their hands in
started,
there.
though.
People get their hands in there. Money.
my understanding, someone told me about this entire game world that they
There's
could
no
literally go
studio.
to another part of the
Yeah.
game and not even return to this at all. Like this is done, it's over. Right?
So
I heard they're going to
season 2
introduce a new area. They're not going to abandon at least the major story points going forward.
Okay.
Like, it's going to be like an A-B. We're going to do one episode here, one episode there kind of thing. That's a rumor. I don't know this for a fact. They're very secretive actually about a lot of this stuff, but it's probably not going to be what we expect, which is what I hope. So
I
the
mean,
next
and
place-
it's somewhat woke-ish, except it all makes sense. Like
Yes.
I mean, to me, I didn't have any problems with that side of it, even though we now have our radar up because we've been sensitized to it, which is unfair to many shows.
Mhm.
I just hope that they don't like turn that up
they
Yeah.
probably
a
will.
notch.
DEI has its hands on the entire tech world, and we know they're
That's
a game
right.
studio, so we'll see. But there is hope because there isn't a Hollywood studio ultimately behind it. It is Riot Games. I don't think they really care that much, but
Chinese company or American or
Oh,
what?
I
boosh.
think they're I'm not actually 100% sure. I thought they were South Korean, but they might be American. Riot Games.
Game maker, the creators
They're-
of League of Legends.
See, a
stuff.
a lot of one of their
Based-
major stockholders is China,
Wow,
or a
that's
Chinese
everything.
company.
Chinese vibes.
but I think it's mainly American.
Yeah,
or
I
it's
thought it was American,
European.
but they're
somewhere in
huge
there.
in South Korea, man. They have like a
I'm not
bigger.
gonna lie. I tried to look up like a trailer for League of Legends, the game, and it was like 5-8 minutes of like people talking at a camera. Hi, I'm so and so, and we're here to tell you about the amazing 2-2 play. And I'm like, I can't even get any footage of the actual game anywhere. I'm like, oh my God, I just gave up. And now I'm going to get a bunch of targeted League of Legends ads for the next several months.
Well, I just want to say thanks, Paul, for coming in.
Oh.
You're always welcome on the show. You know that.
Thank you. I mean, I'm passionate about this stuff. To me, it does interest me an awful lot. So,
well, we're going to be doing it for the next, I guess, 7 weeks after this. So
yeah. How many episodes did they have?
9.
9. Is it 8 or 9?
9.
9.
Yeah. So 8 weeks more.
9.
Well, we'll see. I have a life. See, gentlemen, a pleasure.
Take care, Paul.
You.
Thanks for coming by.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Getting back to this, there was a comment here that I really liked. Kilted Cajun, he's killing it tonight with the comments. Thanks for that, for Kilted. Vanter is a fantastic father figure, has lessons to teach, sticks up for his children, does what he has to protect them, and ready to lay down the law on them. I like that.
And also, he is very against violence, but he's not a pacifist.
Yes, which is interesting and refreshing because they don't normally go hand in hand with movies or shows. But yeah, he passes all of those traits on to Vi, which makes her a pretty endearing character as well. Not a Mary Sue, but definitely not a Mary Sue. Although you can get those vibes from certain scenes, but sounds like a libertarian. Calm down, James.
It's like there's no wasted space, negative space in this series at all either. Like there's so much going on in the backdrop.
Yeah, it's very well shot, composed.
Yeah.
It's great with all the characters and frame. Very deliberate with all of its shots.
Yeah, that's probably because there's so much detail and subtlety in all of the animation. There's no way they're gonna throw filler in there, and if they do, they usually have a reason for it. Like they're trying to show off something that looks really cool, or yeah, I like this. He's like, you guys want to start acting like adults? Well, takes it. He notices that he was listening in with his little earpiece, and he takes it from him. It's like, you little shit.
Yeah, and Milo was dumb enough to just have that in his hand, like pretty much just showing him, like, hey, here, I was doing this.
And he's so much meaner to the boys than he was to Vi, which I thought was pretty funny.
Well, you got to parent the boys and girls differently.
Yeah, it's like gender roles or something.
And then now we got Powder with the blue rocks.
Yeah, she found it in her pocket. Like, hey, I grabbed one of these. This nuclear explosion in my pocket. I have it now.
Does anyone have a Geiger counter?
Dude, they're all dying.
May or may not be plutonium.
It's really warm in my hand.
Dude, it's like that story of the I don't know if it was Germans or Russians, but they found like a some nuclear waste, and they're like, hey, this is pretty warm. Let's use it as like warmth. We don't need a campfire. So like they put it on their back, carried it around.
Does anyone taste metal?
Yeah.
My teeth are falling out. Anybody else?
Yeah, they did that for like 3 days.
This
That's about as long as it takes.
This episode for me, because I like the sister story so much. Like for me, this sets up Powder so much, and I really like how they portray her as like such an naive, innocent young
timid
girl of timid, like so much trauma, trying to hold it together. And again, working with a lot of kids like this, you see them like this, and then they just kind of lash out and they break, mentally, emotionally, and everything. And I love how they portrayed that. That's why I kind of gravitated towards this show. The way they portray the sisters, because like going back to what you guys were talking about, Vi like trying to be that strong character type. She had that weak moment on the bridge, and I think that was her moment, like her vow, like Bruce Wayne, where I'm no longer gonna, like, even with Mizu and Blue Eye Samurai, never gonna let my guard down. I'm gonna like keep my walls up and survive in this world and show everyone that I am a strong person. I like that. It's just really well done.
Yeah. And they don't even like tell you. She doesn't even say it out loud. She's not like, oh, I'm gonna be strong and I'm gonna learn from my mistake. No, we just literally get a facial expression, and it's like, oh, okay. You know, it's so subtle, but it's like it's subtle, but it's you know, it's presented in a way where it's hard to miss.
Mm-hmm.
At least if you're paying attention. I mean, if it's on your second monitor, you're gonna miss it. But I don't know why you would.
Mm-hmm.
The relationships between all of them is really well done too. Like this Milo, like it was brought up earlier, where he's begging on Powder, and then Vi
And
just
then this
unleashes
scene,
him.
this is
Yeah.
the face that will always mean stop talking or shut up.
Yeah.
And then she does like so many expressions. And at the end,
and
Yeah.
she keeps talking, and she just keeps pointing and
Yep.
contort. It's funny because
This
that
is
facial
easy level
expression she's
facial
making.
animation.
There's these little emotes that you can do in game, and that's one of them that was introduced right after the show, which I thought was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Look at this face. This will always mean shut up.
Hey, Benzo. All right.
Benzo, hey, it's your buddy.
do you like Benzo? Is Benzo
Um,
like a favorite character of yours?
No. I mean, it's just his name rhymes with mine. So,
Oh. He's
Get out,
literally
we're
you.
closed.
yeah, my name's Enzo, and I've had a few rapper friends who just like call me Benzo for some reason. Like, I don't take benzos, and I don't drive a Mercedes, so I don't
You have a
care.
Yeah,
Camaro
this-
though, right?
This they have their whole like little
Yukon.
friendly thing where they're like, it's closed for good.
Yeah.
Oh well,
Yeah.
he's the owner's the shittiest businessman I know.
You know what this is? This is the Han Solo Lando when they first on Cloud
Yep.
City. Yeah. it
Yeah.
was just
Oh
like-
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
They
But
get a
I
couple
love
good. They get a couple good licks in too, which is like, do you think my head's thick?
Yeah.
Above average.
yeah, the humor in this is done really well too. That's the other piece. Like it's timed really well.
And it's
Go ahead.
it's always cool when you get those like good humor moments in animation that are funny, because like if you're filming live action,
Sounds strong. Depends on how he has a brim.
but like when you're shooting live action and doing a comedy, you get this rift from the actual actor. And like, you know, you can do a reel, get a couple takes, do a couple different jokes, and work on the timing, getting it to land. But when you're doing animation, there's a huge like department disconnect between from when it was written to when the voice acting's done to when it's animated. And to get a joke to land in an animated series, like that's a lot of planning, right?
Yeah, a lot
Like,
of
you
the
have
best comedy animated shows will record all the actors together.
Yes,
No, in
like
the
South
same
Park does
room.
that.
It's
I
just
believe The
funnier that
Simpsons
way.
does that too.
Yeah, and Futurama and stuff.
Yeah.
They can play off of each other better. But like it's difficult when you're like, you know, just recording your lines, you know. That means
Echo, let's go.
I was waiting for that.
My second
waiting for
favorite
that.
character.
I
Echo.
love I love everything, the backdrop. I love all the negative space that's used here. It's just amazing. And you said it took 6 years to do this? Like,
No, it didn't. Like
okay.
they started making it 6 years before it came out, but like they weren't really working on it like it was a TV show in like a normal pipeline. Because usually you would get a studio that would sign off on your project and it'd be like, okay, we want it on this day. They didn't work like that. It was more like Riot's like, all right, let's work on it. You know, we'll see if we can make it work. And like they actually stopped working on it for a little bit, and then they changed a bunch of stuff about it, and then they were shopping. The reason why they didn't go for it right off the get-go was they couldn't find an animation studio to do it. Right? Because there's so many, like, first of all, it's really expensive. Like if you were to hire Pixar, it would cost you like $150 million. Like it would be insane. So they found this tiny little company in Paris, and they're just like, hey, we're gonna give you the opportunity to do this like music video for us, which was Get Jinxed or whatever. And they got it back, and they're like, holy fuck, these guys are really talented, let's move forward. So they did a music video based, like, that's the aesthetic that they have in the show, which is to your favorite song, the Imagine Dragons one. And then they were working on the show while they were doing that. So it was a 6-year period that they were working on it, but it's more like 2 years.
Yeah, what's crazy is like when you're dealing with like crazy awesome concept artists and character designers, like when they're drawn digitally on these Cintiq monitors on Photoshop or whatever, like they can do these kind of crazy awesome backgrounds in like an hour, you know. It's all just like crazy Photoshop brushes and just color palette, color wheel, and just like mixing and mashing. And like when you watch these speed painters on YouTube, like I do, you'd be amazed at shit they can put down so fast.
That's true. The part that really blows me away though is the lighting though. I don't think I've ever seen stuff like this where like the lighting is not just like realistic, but it actually enhances the scene in a lot of shots. Like you'll see, there's one in this episode that really stuck out to me when Vi and Jinx, well, Powder, are talking on like the bunk bed or whatever, and they have these super duper hard highlights like against their hair and stuff. That shit is so hard to draw. Like I can't draw already, but like I tried to go to art school, so I know like a little bit about it, but like, man, they do a really good job. Like even the specular highlight on his shoulder there, that's not like a game engine telling it to be there. That's a guy leaving it white and drawing around it. Like, that stuff's incredible to me.
I don't remember if it was this episode or the next episode, but it was what's it, the crazy Frankenstein scientist guy? He's holding like a vial of the pink stuff, and it's like glowing in his his hands.
Yeah,
it's glowing in his hands a certain way. It's like it's
well,
awesome.
And so look at all the Gwyneth Paltrow candles that are like going throughout the room.
Probably smells like
breathe it
vagina
in, laddies.
This is again shot beautifully. Even this, like the moonlight that they're like, I want to say it is the moonlight, right? That's coming down. Creeping through.
It's either sunlight or moonlight that's coming through the atmosphere. Which is also changing the hue of it.
Well, they're in like a fissure, like a tight canyon.
Yeah.
I love how the enforcers don't even want to breathe the air down there because it's just filled with all the
I think it's
toxic waste they've been dumping down there.
That mask looks a little familiar to something later.
It does?
Look at it.
Oh, that mask. I thought you were talking about the enforcer one.
Looks like one of the firelight masks.
See.
Good visual foreshadowing.
Getting sleep token vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all the bacteria and mildew and everything down here, it would be just disgusting.
Black mold everywhere.
Yeah, the mold. Yeah, like it just would be.
And I forget the voice actress's name. She's in The Expanse as well.
I'm searching.
I love how they
smoker's voice for sure.
I love how they picked her for like the enforcer that's like from the Undercity and like deals with them all the time. That her voice is shot from like breathing the pollution in all the time.
She sounds like she gargles hot asphalt for fun.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, she's a very masculine character.
Vendor, I can't make this go away.
Shoreya Gashu.
Drank some gin.
Yep.
And
Shoreya Gashu.
She took down a few raw eggs and some gin before each recording session.
Sounds like Kathleen Turner to me.
Yeah. She's got an intense vocal fry.
Yeah.
It's like vocal deep fry.
And when you guys broke this down, when you did your videos and amateur, you're kind of breaking it down now. When they do the animation, this is all digital, and are they doing any watercolors, any pastels? Like
no, it's all digital. The concept work was like they used all kinds of mediums. I think it was mostly paint, but yeah, it's 100% basically done. I think a lot of them were. I can't remember the program. I'm not an animator, but it's basically like the animator's version of Photoshop, and then they send all of the background and all of the assets. They're all on different layers because they try to go for that 2D look, and then they give all the layers to the animator, and then they make it move. But
the animation is a lot of it's CG, but the painting it's just meshing 2D and 3D together. Like their hair are like these 2D like pieces that move and fold together. It's not like a
physics simulation though.
Yeah, it's very articulate. Like with Heimerdinger, his mustache is like very expressive, but it's like only like 3 or 4 layers of like paintbrush strokes.
You don't know where the hair ends and the yordle begins.
Well, I was talking with Rini today, and she's got an animation background. She worked on Archer and a bunch of other animated shows, and she says she's going to come on the show and sometime in February, and I'd love to get her take on how a lot of this is done, because she would be the one to ask, especially with all the work that she's done. It's because like it's similar to Blue Eye Samurai a little bit with a lot of the flats.
Yeah, the approach where it's like you're wrapping a 2D sort of like artwork around a 3D model, and then using a lot of 2D sort of like assets, and then layering it and using parallax to make it look 3D. Like in that sense, it's the same approach, but like art design, motion, it couldn't be more different. Like there's so much more subtlety and like detail in this animation versus Blue Eye Samurai. Like when you watch a character talk, you know, like their shoulders move, their arms move, you know, like they're changing their posture. There's like a million things moving at once when a character's talking. It's kind of crazy.
The rendering
and that's what blows my mind.
Yeah, the rendering and the detailing is like elite.
They must have created some kind of system for it, because man, if you were doing that with keyframes, that would take you a lifetime. Like,
there's some kind of like it's probably like a digitally painted texture map that you put on some kind of 3D character.
Yeah,
you know, kind of like a video game. Probably just like a video game.
Very similar.
Well, the depth, there's just a lot of depth in the areas. Like
I'm sure it's all touched up. You know, I'm sure I'm sure. But like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if these awesome backgrounds are done way quicker than we're thinking. Like,
oh shit, they are. I've watched. You can actually watch
like an hour. Yeah,
you can actually watch some of them being done in real time on YouTube. Like there's a few shots that just they uploaded the artist working on it. It's pretty cool.
This is where Vander, getting back to this is where Vander is not giving up any names, and she wants a name. She needs a person to take back. He's refusing. Yeah, and then she gives him this little. I don't know exactly what this is again. This is like a firework kind of like.
You go to the
flare
bank,
gun.
You know, you go to the bank drive-in, and there's that sucky up thingy tube. And you pull it out. That's what that is. But for like.
What's up, Robin? Thanks for jumping in.
Yeah, scroll in there, I would imagine.
It's kind of cool how the like the steampunk-esque world building technology with it, with like, hey, you put this here, like, and it sucks the tube all the way up to the police station, the enforcer offices.
Yeah, it's like their internet, but it's powered by steam.
Yeah, it's like in The Fifth Element. They have a pneumatic tube mail system.
Yeah,
so they all get their mail.
Yeah.
But of course, in the poorer areas like Zon, there's probably like one place you can go. It's like an ATM, but there's like only one of them.
Yeah.
So.
I like how well they commit to the steampunk thing. Like nothing runs on electricity. Like there's always some chemical reaction, or like even the way this room is lit, there's a little oil lamp on the table.
Yeah.
And I don't usually like steampunk. I don't like steampunk or high fantasy, but this show I was like, yeah, I like these two things now.
Yeah. I was always waiting for someone to do steampunk well. And when the show came out, I was just like, oh, cool. Yeah. Finally, someone did steampunk
I never liked
properly.
The aesthetic, but this show, I was like, all right, I like it now.
This scene, though, with these
raver friends who are all into steampunk.
Vi and Powder are talking.
The way that they do the camera angles throughout this scene, they make what should be very boring and flat, like two girls sitting on a bunk bed. They make it very dynamic, just where they put the camera. You're not even quite sure like which way's up at first, and it's kind of just cool the way that they went about like just framing this scene. It's really interesting, and plus there's a lot of good character work going on.
Yes, it builds on the relationship between the two. Jamas is saying, "Wow, I appreciate the animation here as a remarkable achievement."
Blue Eye Samurai is not smoother. Blue Eye Samurai is half the frame rate. You take that back.
Also, the thing about Arcane is like there's always like little dust speckles and cool little like awesome details.
Yeah,
when you're watching this stuff in motion.
Blue Eye Samurai, as much as I love Blue Eye Samurai, it's a simpler version of
which isn't bad.
It's not bad, but like when it comes to like when we discussed it in Blue Eye Samurai, where like the facial features, it was very flat, and they only had one or two lines to indicate,
Blue Eye,
the emotion.
Simplified. It's minimalism almost.
Yes.
Well, Michael Bancroft put it the best. It was economy of design. It's just they only put the bare minimum they needed to get across what they needed to, and that's it.
Arcane
This-
is
Which is-
more about
doesn't
like
mean it's
camera
bad.
trickery and textures. That stuff all looks amazing, like the lighting and
Yeah.
focal depths and things like that. A lot of
Jay,
lot of
when you're getting
lot of
when you're-
awesome
when you're-
textures.
when you start saying Don Bluth, careful, my friend. I would say more Bakshi than Bluth.
You know what I think it
Bakshi.
reminds me of? The CG Clone Wars show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not too much, like very distant.
I don't. Yeah, Bakshi. You know, Bakshi has too. He used a lot of flat colors. You know.
So does this.
Um,
It
this-
has
I don't-
there's a lot of flats in there.
Uh,
Um,
I
well,
see
they're
a
made
lot of
dynamic
texture in
for
the show.
texture.
Yeah,
the textures
I think
all
there's
a lot of
above the-
value in
Textures
it.
all off the roof and off the chain in this one, dude. Texture's awesome. The fabrics, the hair, the skin, the buildings, it all looks awesome.
I think the hair animation is what impresses me the most because it looks like a really good physics sim, especially when Jinx gets her braids going. The way they
Mhm.
fall and swing around, it looks perfect. And you're telling me that was animated by hand? Like, come on. Well, not by hand. You know what I mean? Like they keyframe
like
animated.
physically
traditionally. Is
Like
what you're
right
saying?
here. This is what I was talking about before. Look at the highlights on the back of Powder's head.
Yeah.
That's not
Mhm.
a lighting engine. That's
Yeah.
stuff.
crazy. It would be one
Also,
thing if it was a
it's
picture.
It's
But it
really
moves
easy.
drawing
and
the
it
hair.
changes.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
It's really easy to do that in a physics engine. They could have done it, but like they got spot on.
Yeah.
The highlights in her hair, and then also the highlights on the front of Vi's face.
Yeah.
They did it all very well.
And it matches
Yeah.
too, which makes it look
Typically-
so realistic.
Typically, most people when they do paintings like this, you start with the dark stuff and you just gradually like build the light onto it, and you get lighter
Yeah.
and lighter. But even the hair, like the hair is not you're not drawing every strand of hair. It is it's like it's how you illustrate hair properly. Like there's like segments and chunks, and it all
Yeah, you
flows
do
the
it
right
in
way and
chunks.
stuff. Yeah, it looks good. And especially later when she gets like those big long cami style ponytails, it's like that shit's cool.
Yeah.
I like this scene too, the build up, and you start to see right here, like this, that perfect spot. You see Powder start to show little fractures, in her mind. I want to say you start to see the schizo creep out. I want to say.
Yeah.
My little explosive friends will help us someday.
Well, she's
Mhm.
very unsure of herself because
Mhm.
you know she's at that age where she doesn't really know what she's good at yet. Even though she
Also,
can
she's
make,
at the
make
age
shit
where
and
when
she's
she's-
pretty good at drawing, but
She
like,
doesn't know where she belongs.
Yeah, she doesn't know where she belongs. She's got a bunch of self-doubt and like
Well, none of them do.
she's in a very shitty position. Like
Um,
she's part of the outcast society, you know. I mean,
I-
it's not the worst position. Like she's got Vi and Vander looking out for her. She's got like a crew and all that, but like she has a hard life ahead of her and she's worried about it. And that's sort of coming out in that scene there. It's basically part of Powder's personality is being uncertain, being vulnerable, being I'm not going to say innocent, but there's a bit of that there by the fact that she's a young girl, but like
Naive.
naive I think
Yeah.
is better, but and then that's why this sisterhood works so well because Vi is very sure of herself, or at least thinks she is, and that sort of confidence is very comforting to Jinx / Powder. So like
Mhm.
they basically become friends because they fill like a void in the other. You know, they become more than sisters. They might not even be actual biological sisters. It's not clear, but
Ooh.
Yeah.
you know, it's why they're connected so well because one sort of completes the other, so to speak. Like Vi
Yeah.
needs someone to fight for, and Powder needs someone to look out for her, right?
Mhm.
Which is exactly what we get here. And now we have their bonding moment, which is basically the basis of the heart and soul for the entire show.
Mhm. Talking about stupid things that Milo and Clagger did, and then
Yeah.
then we see the bunny.
The bunny.
Well, oh yeah, the toy.
How the fuck is
Um,
that not merch, by the way? Dude, they could have
Dude.
sold 1 million of those.
Every single
Look,
theme of
shit,
this
man.
show, every single theme of this show flows through this bunny,
Yeah, man.
which is crazy.
Weird.
So
The gas lines.
Yeah, and that's the other thing about this little kid, the little sister, fucking whatever her name is now. What is it?
Powder.
Jinx.
It's Powder as
Powder,
a girl,
thank
and
you.
then it's Jinx
I
as
I want to
a...
say
Yeah,
like
Powder.
Frosty for some reason. That was wrong. Powder, yeah, she's at the age where she could say like legit like psychosis, kind of schizophrenia things, and you wouldn't even really think about it because she's just a little
Yeah.
kid, you know. It's
Yeah.
only until like they get into puberty they start saying the same stuff, and you're like, something's not right with this kid.
Another thing I'd like to point out about the animation that I just was reminded of at this shot. No, like the way that they animate the eyes. First of all, they have like the reflective highlights on it done really well because that's how circular things or
That's
spherical
simple.
things.
That part's
But
simple.
the thing that really sells it is they have the little micro twitches in the eye.
Yeah.
They ever so
Yeah.
slightly twitch around, which is huge. And then another thing that they start doing later on, when the character looks at something and they want a certain emotional response, they start bringing the pupil dilation into as part of the performance, which is just crazy. Like the level of detail is nuts.
I thought
like,
you
I
were going
look
to talk
at-
about the freckles, dude. Because the freckles are done perfect.
Yeah, the freckles, the way they stretch on the face, yeah, that's more.
Yeah.
That's probably more of like a bump map technique or like a texture map, but they definitely had to like, you know,
Yeah.
Something
Well,
else
not
about
only
they
this
just
that,
make
but
that work
with
so
certain
well.
lighting and certain lighting with the freckles as well, like you can see them more prominent than
yeah, the camera
right here.
exposure, you can't see them
Yeah.
in certain light. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love how they.
Something that I
brought all
also
that
liked
into
was like
consideration.
the glare on the eyeballs. You know, doesn't necessarily match the movement of the eyeballs. Like they're on two different layers.
Yeah,
Which helps sell it. You know, even more so.
well, there would probably be like 4 or 5 transparency layers in the eye if I had
For
to
the
imagine,
eyes
if not
alone.
more.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's crazy. No one animates like this. Like usually when they do eyes, it's like dots or like a circle and a dot, maybe a cornea.
Corny.
Like
Trust me, everyone's trying to animate like this now.
yeah, well,
yeah.
everyone I talk to who works in animation can't stop talking about this show. They're just like, this is freaking crazy. Like I want to go move to France and work for these guys. It's like,
Yeah,
you
France
don't
is
even
where
have
it's
to move.
at. There's the Blue Eyes, like what is it, Blue Spirit?
Blue Spirit,
that
yeah.
animation.
They're in
that
Paris as
animation.
well.
Yeah,
They're tiny.
Um,
They're a tiny studio.
that do like kids shows. Like
Mm-hmm.
like that's what they're known for.
I've never heard of them before. I thought it was
Neither have I.
Blue Sky, and I'm like, wait, what's Blue Spirit?
Kilted says, I feel like it shows a high level of love and care they have for the show.
Oh,
Yes,
100%.
yeah,
Well, also
100%.
like
Dude,
the love.
go
they have for
listen to the
video
making
game.
of and listen to the way these guys talk about the show.
Oh,
They're just
yeah.
like,
What is
we
it
want to
called?
make this the best fucking thing it could possibly be, or we're just gonna throw it away. Like
And
we
they
have
almost
so
did.
much invested into this. Yeah,
Oh, really? They almost
Dude,
threw
they're
this
like-
out.
they're
what is
talking
it
about-
called? Bridging the Rift is the series name. There's like 5 episodes of like the behind the
Yeah.
scenes. And the first episode, by the end, they were like, "Yeah, it was bad, so we scrapped it."
yeah. Well, they
And that,
couldn't
it
find.
left you on a cliffhanger. It's like, what? You canceled the show? It's crazy.
Ooh.
Yeah, they stopped working on it for like almost a year. Well, it was more than that because they couldn't find an animation studio to do it. But
Mhm.
yeah, like the way they talk about it, like people that have been putting their heart and soul into it for 6 years, the better part of 6 years, they're like, when I finally saw, you know, some of the finished shots, I was like it brought an emotional response. I was like blown away at how good it looked. I was so proud to be a part of it. And it's like the last time I heard people talk like this was in the Lord of the Rings appendices. That was
My
the
favorite
last time
shot.
I heard someone talk. Yeah, it's my favorite shot too. Check it out. Although mine's
One day,
black.
this city is gonna respect us.
And then we get that musical theme that connects them together.
But this
Yeah.
is like, to me, this is like Gotham. Like, it's, you know, like this
Well,
is like
they
a
do have-
Batman.
They do have Joker and Harlequin, kind of.
You know what it? You know what it does remind me of? It reminds me of Coruscant from Star Wars.
Oh,
I
okay,
can
yeah,
see
yeah.
that.
Specifically with the relationship of Undercity and
Mhm.
Topside. It's not nearly as fleshed out in Star Wars as it is here. Like this, it's like, bro,
Yeah.
this is better than Star Wars, bro, in terms of that relationship between Coruscant's Topside and its Undercity.
You can definitely see the French influence in the architecture, though. Like you got
Huge.
Paris at the bottom, you got Mount Saint Michel on the top, and you got like little bits of Lyon here and there.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, we haven't even gone here. We haven't even gone to Piltover's side in terms of what they think
No.
about everything. But
And
we're
it's
already
cool.
like, we're already excited to go there we don't even know that it's happening, but we're just excited to see this cool shot because it's like, these guys, the bad guys, but they're also cool, I guess. And then later it's like, and then intro to episode 2, it's like, we actually should care about these people, which makes this shot even more powerful on rewatch.
It looks like favela in Rio.
Yeah, definitely.
Never thought of that. This is where I love the antagonists in any kind of series. Yes,
this
like
slimy boy.
There's Deckard. He's embarrassed. He's let his boss down. The facial expressions in this series all throughout is amazing.
Yeah, the part where he like contorts his face is really impressive. His eyeballs bulge and everything.
Like the teeth, everyone's teeth looks different.
Yeah, yes. The blemishes, they look like they're actually cutting into the face.
Yeah,
you know, like the lip actually looks like it has a hole.
Love this. This is one of my favorite shots of all time. Yeah. This is like so.
the reveal of his eye and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, there's the most iconic is Darth Vader and like the original Star Wars, like New Hope, where he comes through and he's just a powerful figure, right? So dark, black. He's black. Everything's white. He's just ominous, silhouette. And you're just like, oh shit, this guy he's meaning business. And then you get Silco just kind of he's at the end.
Well, it's what he is, right? Like he hasn't shown his face in public for a long time because of what happened on the bridge or some point in time with Vander. So he hasn't been playing his game. Like he's been running his undercover like drug cartel, I guess, but he hasn't been doing anything big or of note yet. He's been very underground in the shadows, and here he's a silhouette visualizing that with a bunch of science in the background.
Kilted, he is terrified, but he's also embarrassed that he let his boss down. Like he's
just
a flood of
mad
emotions.
He was caught.
Yeah.
He got beat by a girl. Imagine. Couldn't be me.
Well, that's the thing with these street kids too, especially in a desperate situation, is what they do doesn't always have to make sense. Like, why would you act against your freaking crime overlord? And it's like, well, because they only think from like one meal at a time, one take at a time. You know, they're not very forward thinking.
Yeah. Oh yeah. People. I mean, you can see this behavior in poor society as well. Like these third world countries, even in America or Canada, you see these poor areas where people don't care about the future because they need to care about right now. They don't care. They don't know if they're gonna live to see the next day. They don't know if they're gonna be able to eat. They're just thinking about right now. And that kid was like, "Hey, that's a haul."
Exactly. That's why I love this show, because even side characters feel like real. Like they feel like they could be real. Kankakistan. Wow.
This part right here, you get the introduction to Silco, and what you're seeing him do something to his eye. You're not even exactly sure what he's doing.
Some kind of injection with shimmer or something. I'm assuming.
You're just like, oh damn! Like this
is that just for the glow?
Straight to the dome.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
He's doing pot plants on his desk.
Oh. Look at that.
He's so slimy.
Kind of like in The Professional when Gary Oldman is like, you first meet him and he's like crunching pills with his teeth and like, shaking and doing all. It's like, what the hell? What's with this guy?
Kilted, don't apologize, brother. Like it's from the dead. Is such a great.
From the dead.
It's funny to listen to Paul talk about how he would change things up a little bit here and there, and that's fine. I thought this was an amazing series. This is to me. The top of the top, I put it in Andrew's terms, peak. This is peak.
Yeah, peak tier.
For me.
Yes.
I thought it was bro tier. No, that's below peak.
Yeah.
Homie, I think is the yeah.
Clearly, he's curling his eyelashes. Yes.
Yes.
I just love how there's stages to his reveal. It's like he's sitting back. Like at first, he's sitting back, silhouette, all calm. Then the next one, he's doing the fucking eye thing, which is already making you uncomfortable. And then he looks towards the camera and reveals his eye. There's like levels to it where it's just, how far is this going to go? It's kind of neat. It's a lot of visual interest. I fucking love his outfit. I want someone to make that for me.
Oh, good one, man. I think the kids enjoy it when Gooch gets down with them verbally. Okay.
Yeah, I think
I'm hip
'cause-
I'm hip with the kids as Pokemon.
I think I like
Isn't
the
it Pal World?
Oh yeah, Pal World, that new game. It's blowing up right
Yeah.
now. There's like levels to how he cares. Like Silco that we see him here is very different from the Silco that we see from the 7-year jump. It's very subtle. Like here
Oh,
he's power hungry. He wants to take the shimmer and rule the world. And also you can see that he's doing his eye medication, I guess you can call it, alone. And then post 7 years, he's doing it with Jinx. So
Well,
now he has something.
Well,
to
his
care about.
relationship with Jinx is the same thing that happened to, well, very similar thing that happened to Vander with Vi and Powder, right? Like they were this goal oriented, like freedom fighter, I guess, or criminal, whatever you want to frame it as. But then they had to take a different approach because now they have this vulnerable person that's looking up to them now, or that they care about them, and their priorities change, their motivation changes. You know, it's no longer about taking over Piltover and getting one up on him. It's about securing a future for this person, right?
Well,
and it makes them vulnerable. It brings them off that path, and the story punishes them for it. And it happens to both of them, like almost in the same way.
Yeah,
That's why I
and
think the
on top
entire
of that-
fucking show is a duality. Like literally everything in it is duality, like the game. You know, it's sort of alluding to that balance.
Yeah, and I also want to touch the point where like you're mentioning like Vi, you know, doing the eye thing with Silco. That is an intentional like the gain the trust.
Yeah,
Like that's a whole trust thing.
And so Vander and so the big difference is both of their mentalities towards how they raise their daughters, I guess. Because Vander says, acknowledge the, I guess, monster inside you, but tame it. Don't let it out. You must like tame yourself in order to protect the people that you love. But I think Silco just says it outright. He's just like, time to let the monster.
the way you are.
Yeah, he's like, time to let the monster out. He's like, no, use this monster. He doesn't love Powder. He loves Jinx. He loves this monster that's become of her, and he loves like this unhinged thing, this like completely uncanny thing that is just existing.
Because she can get away with doing what he can't because politics or because something, right?
Well, she can just do it. She doesn't care. Like she can shoot a missile at Piltover. Like,
and what are you going to do? You can't even catch her. You can't find her. Like,
and also he's manipulated Powder into, or I guess he's not manipulated, but because Powder does this herself, but he's capitalized on her working with her technology as a form of fitting in and belonging. And he's kind of used that and said, hey, you can. He kind of pulls a Vi and he's like, hey, what makes you different makes you strong. These things, that these little gizmos that you're making, these are very powerful. But in doing that, he creates this very isolated version of herself where she doesn't have anyone really. She's alone in her lair, and she has stuffed animals of her dead friends that she blew up. So
yeah, like the establishing shots with Vi and Powder when they're at the bunk bed and all the childhood room stuff, like the teddy bear and the crayons and the little box and all of her drawings. When you jump forward to like episode 4 or 5, like the teddy bear's like dismembered and hanging from the ceiling in different pieces. The crayons are all snapped and like drawing graffiti everywhere. It's really cool. Like they have so many little tidbits in the background.
The bunny's there, and it's also intact.
Yeah, it's hung up like it's being crucified to the wall. Yeah, it's amazing.
But we'll get to bunny theory when episode 3 happens.
Bunny theory. I don't think I've heard bunny theory.
This shot, I just want to mention, like when we're talking about the animation and the art, like this, like I love the knuckles on this.
Yeah,
character.
Singe here is Singe. He looks like his name, like like skeletal, giant forehead.
Like it's exaggerated and like anatomically, it's not
correct, but it looks.
Yeah.
I mean, I've
fucking
seen
but it looks cool as shit.
Extraterrestrial hands.
It looks more like a spider's leg than a human hand.
Yeah, but it brings
grazed.
out the point, you know, like it just like
Yeah.
Well, they're just trying
Ladies
to
see a
make you
man with fingers
uncomfortable.
like that, and their eyes get wide. Maybe wide with disgust. I don't
And
know.
the cat is really well done. This
Ugliest fucking cat in the world.
Siamese
Those little
cat.
hairless cats.
Hairless cat. I'm glad it dies.
Poor fella. I thought this was going to be the typical, like, Dr. Evil. You got a hairless cat that you pet all the time, and it's like, that's pretty sad.
But this
honestly.
is like this throws me off too. But like the cat's put in, and then it goes for water. I don't like.
No, the shimmer in the water.
The
the
scientist
rat
tap.
knows.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're saying it's like a Pavlov theory where whenever he taps, like
yeah.
he's gonna. Okay.
The
Yeah,
rat
it's-
knows.
Are we getting into the
water
psychology
makes-
of
turns
rats
it
right
into a
now?
monster.
Right, boys.
Yeah, we are because like he taps and then the rat goes and sips on the water, and but
Yeah.
like normally the rat
Positive
would try to
conditioning.
escape. Yeah, exactly.
Well, what choice does it have? It's like, okay, either I can drink this water or I can get fucked up by a cat. Like, I'm gonna go for the water.
Oh,
You get your first dose of Hulk gamma radiation.
look at Silco just
body
enjoying
horror.
this, like just a
He almost looks shocked there, but he's not shocked in a bad way. He's just like, oh.
He's like, all right, this works.
Yeah.
It's just like, I think we're ready, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. Oh, Osawatomie, careful. I know where that's going.
Poor
cats.
Keep it on this side of the Atlantic.
Suspenseful music.
Oh, we
and
missed
then
the
we're at
good
end.
shot.
Well, which shot?
The shot where he says,
Someone's already volunteered.
yeah, and it's just the shot of the
Oh.
chair. It's visual storytelling.
Yeah, you kind of
Hey.
know who they're talking about without them saying it.
Yeah.
You can just go back and just press play. I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah. Netflix doesn't care. Arcane.
No, they don't. No, I've uploaded like mad shit from this, and they don't care.
Pause.
They don't even
Yeah.
care about the music.
Someone's
Yeah,
just
that's a great
volunteered.
shot as well.
And then also the soundtrack doing the dun 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 dun.
Fucking great song.
Dude, the
But, like,
soundtrack of the song or the score of the movies or TV shows so good.
Yeah.
That's amazing. The sound design, I think, doesn't get the praise it deserves. Like the soundscapes and the
Yeah.
way everything sounds.
Quality work.
I don't think I've ever fucking watched or heard something where I can just close my eyes and picture exactly what's going on. Like everything sounds like it should. It's so subtle, and they do so well that it goes unnoticed because they nailed it.
Well,
Like when they're
hear
climbing
some
up the
stock
wall, you
sound
can
effects.
hear like their legs and hands, like all on all the different materials interacting. It's fantastic.
I even hear some
Duos.
stock sound effects in this show, and I don't mind it because they fit.
I don't think I've heard any stock sound effects.
Yeah. There's a
anything
few I heard, like
specific?
some. There's specifically when
There must be some.
yeah, there's an episode. There's specifically one part where they're crawling out of the tunnel. Vi and was it this episode? They emerge out of like a
Yep.
floor hatch.
Yep.
That is the classic.
Oh yeah, that
Squeaky
Oh,
sound you
yeah,
always
yeah,
hear.
okay, that one's the
There's
stock
a few,
one
there's
for
a few
sure.
of them, but like you're so into like what you're seeing, and it's matching so well with what you're seeing. Like, yeah, you really have to be paying attention and know your stock sounds to kind of. But it's not like it pulls you out or anything. I just
Well-
get a kick out of hearing the sounds in every show. You know,
Yeah.
squeaky
The one that
gate
really gets me
shears
is the
every
clinking
day.
of coins, or like,
Oh.
and I don't know if you've seen The Last Kingdom, but they use the exact same sound effect for every fucking door opening and closing, and it's the
that's
sound from
funny.
like World of Warcraft or something. It's just, I heard that, and it's just like they use it every time, and it's just like, fuck, man, you guys
Same
couldn't get a
door.
couple samples of someone closing a fucking door.
Yeah, like even if you use stock sounds, like get 5 stock sounds for the 5 doors that are opened in the movie. You know,
Yeah,
yeah. Every movie should have a
Um,
Wilhelm scream for sure.
Yes.
And then,
We didn't do
Howie
this in
scream,
Blue
too.
Eye. We didn't do this in Blue Eyed Samurai, but I'm just asking you guys. It's up to you. Should we rate this however you want to rate it for each episode and kind of see and look back and pinpoint the
we
weaker
already know my
episodes?
answer.
Yeah, I watched this first episode a second time, but everything else I've only seen once. I will, revisit.
Well, we
it
got a
again.
week. Yeah, we got a week to the next episode. Andrew, your thoughts?
On ranking each episode or rating it?
Yeah, rating each episode.
I didn't think about this episode
I
by
mean, if I
episode.
could rank the whole show, I would probably put it like a star. or a star and a half above Blue Eye Samurai, whatever the hell we want to rate that.
No, just like this episode alone. The
Yeah,
standalone
this episode alone,
yeah.
I mean, it got me interested, and there's a lot of great world building, and that's something I wanted to ask you guys. Like, is it more impressive with animation when, I mean, technically I'm more impressed with this kind of wild imagination stuff where you just paint all this wild, crazy crap that comes out of your head, but it's probably way harder. You know, like Blue Eye Samurai's backgrounds probably took longer because you have to like reference like real things, you know?
Yeah, there's a bit
like
of research involved.
Versus just going crazy, do whatever you want, which I prefer. But it's like, yeah, it's funny because like it seems like it's harder and more work to make stuff like kind of based in reality, to animate something kind of historically accurate. That sounds way harder.
Probably there's different. I think it's like different types of difficulty.
Yeah.
Like they're both difficult, but one you're like looking for historical accuracy, and one you're trying to make the world make sense.
True.
Well, man, if you really look at some of the backgrounds in Blue Eye Samurai, not to belittle the show, but like the amount of detail, like difference in the amount of detail in between them, we're talking like 1,000 to 1. Like
detail.
Some of the Blue Eye Samurai backgrounds, like love the show, it looks great, but some of them look like, you know, something a middle school kid drew in half an hour. Whereas this stuff looks like something a professional artist made, and it took them all day.
I think the difference between Blue Eye and Arcane, I think the writing and the dialogue was heavier. And I'm not saying by a lot. I just think it's a little heavier. And
I agree.
It's
a lot
different.
In Blue Eye Samurai. Yeah, it's different. And every line has weight to it. Like we've said, like a million. I know I've said this a million times. Where in Arcane, it's so visually stunning, but the story is really awesome as well. But you can, like, especially with Jason and what's her name there, the queen or the princess,
Mel,
whatever her name, Mel. You kind of blank out a few times. So you're not invested as much. You're watching it, but you're not hanging on every line. I think with Blue Eye Samurai, you're hanging on every line because it actually leads to something. And I think that's the only difference. When it comes to animation, Arcane is
Arcane looks crazy, man.
Yeah,
Arcane's like a 10. I would give Blue Eye Samurai like a 7.5 maybe.
Yeah,
like it's pretty darn good,
right.
But like I'm not gonna sit there and say it's the best animation ever done. Whereas this is the best animation I've ever seen. It just is. I'm sure there's animation out there that's better or harder or more technically whatever, but this is my favorite thing that I've seen in animation so far.
Also, it hasn't been ripped off a bunch, the style, kind of like Spider-Man,
it's
Spider-Verse
totally
movies.
Yeah, it's totally unique.
Everyone's copying Spider-Verse now.
Yeah.
So
they want that vibe.
That jittery kind of.
I'm sick of that.
This is exactly what Arcane doesn't require the dialogue to carry as much because the scenery assists in the storytelling.
Yeah,
very visually motivated.
What's cool? What makes it easier to
have
world
to watch
build?
It. You can't listen to it. Sorry, go ahead, Enzo.
No, I'll say world building is actually pretty easy with stuff like this because like you have like dudes just painting cool pictures, and it's someone else's job to just come up with cool ways to connect these images and like come up with backstory for it. It's like the Marvel way, where you draw first and like fill in all the blanks and the exposition later.
You get some cool shit doing that approach though.
Yeah. That's why this shit is so wild. That's
the world building. They've been working on the world building for like 15 years. Like the amount of cooking they've been doing in the background for their lore is like insane.
Yeah.
It's kind of silly. They're wasted on the game that they have, but like this show is just like them actually showing what they're capable of. Like these guys should be making a big AAA RPG. Like, come on, stop fucking around.
Yeah, it's just very reminiscent of it's very reminiscent of Final Fantasy VII, Advent Children. Like I said, it's just like I don't know what the hell's going on really, but I get it. I get it enough to enjoy it and think this shit looks crazy awesome. Maybe I'm just
you're not really missing out on a hell of a lot. Like like information wise, not playing the game, but there are a lot of really cool pieces of fan service,
Easter eggs.
Yeah. Like back in
and it's not relying on any of them. Like there's
in
like the one.
Yeah, in Benzo's shop, there's so many tools that are in the game or items. Like there's a golden heart that he's like inspecting. It's like a turtle shell.
Yeah,
There's
that's
a
like the
bunch
little
of-
sentry thing that you put up. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's like Echo, like working on a clock, and in the video game, he like has
he
this
controls
soft time
time.
travel. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like this soft time travel rules with him. And yeah,
And it's
Oh.
funny because in the game, Echo is a hard counter to Jinx in the game. So like when they face off on the bridge, that's 100% how that would go.
Oh,
Like
that's really
Echo would
funny.
just fuck up Jinx every time. Like this, it's not even a skill issue. It's just this is how it works.
that's actually really funny.
It's
I like
very
that.
interesting. Like there's lots of weird little bits of fan service. Like I'd say the only one that takes away ever so slightly is there's this establishing shot where Victor reveals his name, and it's sort of like just lingers on his face a little bit too long. Because if you're a fan of the game, that's like a whoa fucking moment. But if you don't know who Victor is, it's just like,
Yeah.
why is this shot lingering so long? But
That
it's
explains it.
it's a total nitpick, but it's just weird little stuff hidden in there.
Well, like Platoon said, yeah, biggest complaint about the entire show, the theme song. I tolerated it the first time I watched it, and the second episode, I was already like pressing that skip button.
Yeah.
I was like,
Well, the
man,
reason why they're
I-
so heavily involved is Imagine Dragons,
Yeah,
like the band
music video,
members
right.
are like, they're huge on the game. They've been playing
Oh
the
my
game for like
God.
fucking 15 years.
Yeah, they game, bro.
Yeah,
It's
they
so
game fucking
funny.
hard. Dude,
Show
they
me your
play
fucking
concerts at
rock star
MLG events. Like, that's just,
Yeah.
they're a part of the fucking League
Yeah.
Nation or whatever.
And I'm glad that they're on it, like because they like the game, they like the community. But,
Yeah,
like,
so is B
man,
Miller. So does, what's that other guy? Sting? Not the police Sting, different one.
Oh, the wrestler Sting.
No, it's
There's
musician.
more than two people
There's
named
Wood-
Sting. That's
Yeah, there's like
fucking
3
great.
Yeah.
apparently. That song bangs, by the way. That fucking song at the end. What
I
could have
love
been.
that. Dana,
So-
Such a good song.
Dana
Getting back
Carvey
to my
joke.
getting back to my original question, how do you guys
Okay.
do you guys want to rate
Sure.
episode by episode, or like I like the comment that Kilted said, like the 3 acts.
Yeah, man, I don't know how I'd
Yeah.
rank this. I don't know how I would rate this because in terms of like a pilot episode, I'd say it's like all right.
I think it's
like-
an amazing pilot, dude.
Like I don't know.
It
I
draws
look at
you
this
in
as,
super
like,
hard. It sets up so much anticipation.
I
and it
look at
looks
this like
great.
just 3 movies. Like you
Yeah.
have Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, all
Yeah.
3 movies. And it's like really hard to think like how I would rate this specific like Act 1 of Act 1. Like right now, there's not really any. I'd probably give it like an 8 point something. I don't like points. I'm just gonna give it 8 because I'm trying to give it some ceiling to like give it better scores in the future.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because if I give everything a 9, I'm just like honestly, I'd just give every episode a 9. 8
Well,
out of 10. I'll go with 8.
why an 8? Just because of that reason alone?
Just to give it a ceiling because it does get better.
Yeah, yeah, I
That's
know.
it.
I haven't watched the show thinking, all right, I'm gonna rate this episode this. I think currently some characters are a bit underdeveloped, but of course that happens later. Like Milo, no, not
Mhm.
Milo, Clagger. Clagger is just kind of a dude. I think yeah, I don't know, because most of the problems that could be isolated in this episode are explained later in the show. I think I'm just gonna give it an 8. I
Do
think
you think this is
there's
the weakest episode of the 9 episodes?
no.
I liked it
Okay.
a lot.
I think episode 4 is the weakest.
Nah, I
hard to say.
like I think episode 4 is probably one of the strongest just because it
What?
does something. It does something. I hate time skips, and it nailed it. And I was like,
It
all
does.
right.
It does nail the time skip. It
I
actually
respect
makes the time skip more exciting or like more better than not time skipping, which is great. Like when you see
I
that
didn't
Jinx reveal,
realize
it's just
what
like, whew,
Yeah.
what
I
the
didn't realize
fuck?
what was happening until it was happening, and I was like, "Oh, cool."
Yeah,
it's
man.
showing the technology and the progression of
There's a
Piltover.
lot of
Yeah, I thought
moments
this
of
was
that
like
too.
I thought it was like the next day they have like fucking light
Yeah.
speed Zeppelin already. I was like, "What? How does this?" And then I realized, "Oh, okay."
Yeah,
I
well, then
literally
you
had to
see
rewind
Jinx
and start the
grown up,
episode
and you're
over.
just like, okay, this is years.
I literally had to-
Yeah, well-
I'll let Amateur You give your rating. Go ahead there, buddy. You're probably going to get 10 out of
Also,
10.
don't
but-
take my rating too seriously. I haven't even thought about this.
No.
I thought about this for like 20 minutes.
I haven't really thought about it either, but I don't know. Just based on the idea of giving it a higher ceiling for other episodes, I'm gonna give this one a 9. Just because I think it's a really strong pilot. It drew me in heavily. Like, I was sold by the story. I couldn't stop watching. So just based on that, I'd have to give it a 9. And I also appreciate the fact that the pilot isn't like its own movie, which can be kind of annoying because it's like, okay, you sit down to watch an episode and you're like, I'm only a third of the way through. What the fuck? You know, like Battlestar Galactica is like an hour and a half or like 2 hours.
Yeah.
I think Firefly did the same thing. So did Stargate. It's just like, geez, man, what's with these gigantic pilots? But no, I really like it.
I like how I set the chat on this like stinging tirade. Anyway,
yeah, I
It's
know.
a verb. It's an adjective. It's a noun.
Yeah, like I said, if I gave Blue Eye Samurai like a 7.5, and this is like an 8.5 easily. And this first episode, I don't know, I just wasn't. I didn't feel bored. I didn't feel the need to like speed it up like I do with some shows. Like when I watched Marnarch, I watched like 20 minutes of the first episode. I was like, I play this at double speed. I can watch this at 2 speed. This one, I managed to watch the whole show at normal speed.
Nice.
And also, yeah, I don't know. I just, as a layman who doesn't know dick about the show or the game that it's based off of, I still
Don't
was
have to.
pretty captivated. But also, like, I also am biased because I have an artistic background. You know, I'm one of these guys where I'm just like looking at the textures and all this stuff and imagining some guy drawing this stuff on a Cintiq monitor somewhere.
Yeah.
In France or China or wherever.
Belly.
Oh, Sacre Bleu.
Oh, monsieur. La croissant.
I'll sing some Sting for y'all later. How about that? But we'll kill both stones. Oswatami.
Watami.
There you
John
go.
also.
I know it took me a while to get it. So your rating's an 8.5 on this one?
Sure.
Okay, so we have an 8,
Lean.
8.5.
Solid Fellini rating.
And then we have a 9 from amateur. I would give this one, I'm going to go with Andrew. I would give it an 8 because it builds. The pilot should always be a little lower, and like I like what Andrew said, and build on it.
Yeah.
It starts off incredible and it ends off incredible. And that's what I like.
You know what's crazy? I watched the premiere of it. I watched the first episode, and it took me like a year to get back into the show. Like I watched the first episode, and I was like,
really?
Yeah, I was like, this is good, but it didn't really have anything to hook me in.
Weird.
Yeah,
I was hooked just by the music, man. I was just like, I want to see where this goes. This is pretty cool.
Anyway, sorry to interrupt.
No. Guys, don't worry about me. I'm just here to just,
Shut
click
up, Jay.
buttons.
This is your show, man.
But I agree with you, Andrew, a lot there. There's some things. No, it's an 8 because I like the relationship building with the sister, that, and then Vander, the father figure, and then the introduction of Silco at the. I like this episode a lot. There's a lot of good setups. It's not like what we saw from like Ahsoka or anything that where you're asking a bunch of questions and you're not going to get any answers. This one, you kind of where it's going, where it's leading to.
Well, you know where it's leading to, and then it subverts your expectations.
Yeah, and then it's like, fuck you, it's actually going over here, and it's going
in
a place 10 times worse than you thought.
Yeah, this episode is, look at this amazing ragtag group of friends.
Yeah.
Now let's kill them and make them all suffer.
That's what you should do for your good stories. You want us to love your characters, and you got to put them through the ringer. You got to put them through hell, so that way we.
That's why Vi's not a Mary Sue. What happens to her when she's supposed to succeed? She goes to fucking prison and has everyone she loved killed and taken away for like years.
She's not a Mary Sue at all.
It's like the inverse.
So when I watched the premiere, I was like, all right, this is like a ragtag group of heroes type show. I'm like, this is cool, but I don't really care about it. And then I watched like a year later, and then I got to episode 3, and I was like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, episode 3 is fucking crazy.
And then
Yeah.
after that, I only had time to watch the first 3 episodes again, and then I watched the third one, and then I went to like an event or something, and then I was just sitting there. I was like, my life has changed.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It lived in my head rent free for like a month, and I was like, "Fuck it, I gotta make a video about this." I'm just gonna start my YouTube channel. Fuck it. I wanted to do Iron Giant, but this has to be made.
Is this the correct way to say it? Osawatomie. I think
Yeah.
that's how you say it.
Osawatomie.
Osawatomie. Yeah.
Is it James Brown or John Brown? I keep getting them mixed up because of the musician, like fucking guy from the Civil War. That's who he's named
Oh,
after.
John Brown.
I looked
James
it up.
Brown is the crack smoker.
No, the Civil War guy.
Oh, Jim Brown. You're thinking of
Is it
John
Jim
Brown?
Brown?
I
don't
don't
fucking know,
You
man.
take us down these paths every time, and so hey guys, here's some breadcrumbs. Follow me.
John Brown.
Quack, 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 quack.
Yeah.
Sheriff John Brown. I shot the sheriff.
Well, let's close this out. Enzo, where are you going to be for the next week? Any shows or anything coming up?
No, I think I'm just going to be working on some videos. I got a few Wii watches that I'm editing. I got Man's Best Friend came out yesterday. That was funny. Me and Blue Collar Loser watched that. It's about a killer genetically mutated dog.
Yeah,
that
I watched
pees
it.
acid.
It was only like less than an hour. I was like, what the hell? Like, that was quick.
Oh, yeah, my Wii watches are edited, I edit
okay.
down so it's like a highlight reel. The copyright, they don't like it when I put the whole movie up. Plus, I don't think the fans will enjoy watching the whole crappy movie, honestly. Also, I think just gonna do another Dork Side on Monday and just chilling. Might show up on Lance's channel. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Saturday, maybe next Tuesday. Definitely next Tuesday. But yeah, I don't know. I'm around.
Do you have the link to his crowdfunder?
No, I can get it though.
Yeah, if you can get that,
Yeah.
if you don't mind.
guys
And
wanna
please go
help
check out Fund Lance's play. It'd be greatly
Yeah.
appreciated.
It's about the post office scandal.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Andrew, where are you going to be in the next week? You're everywhere. Where are you going to be?
I'm just chilling. I don't know. I just show up in streams and then I talk and chat, and sometimes I'm invited on. So yeah, I'll be anywhere, I guess. So
You'll be here next Thursday. That's where you'll
that's
be.
true. I'll be here.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And I have
Yeah.
Platoon, so I can bully him.
Good luck with that.
Listen, I bully him all the time. I say snarky comment. He goes, "I'm British," and then and then I bully him because I'm American and I can own a gun, and he can barely own a kitchen knife.
Hell yeah, brother! I got lots of guns.
But yeah, that's
and
it.
also go check these guys out on their channels. It'd be greatly appreciated. So, an amateur, where are you going to be there, brother?
Other than here next week, nowhere. Still
Okay.
working on my Arcane Part 2. No idea when that's going to come out at this point. It's kind of like a mess of notes and footage. So it's going to take a while to turn it into anything. It's basically a documentary about the frickin' show now. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I
that's
made a
thing.
news video the other day. I forgot about that. I made a video about the Dunkin' Donuts place. Dunkin'
Oh, you did.
food. That was funny. I need to do more of those. That was fun and quick and easy. So yeah, check those out.
And thanks
I
for
guess
the face reveal there, amateur. The sharp looking man over there.
Yeah.
What should come out next week? Should I have Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead with Amateur Analyst, or should I have Howard the Duck come out next week with actually Andrew? I got both of those recorded.
That's true. I did watch Howard the Duck for the first time.
Did you like it?
I thought that movie was crazy.
Cool. Well, maybe we'll just release it in the order they were recorded, which I won't tell you guys. You'll just have to find out next week, won't you?
Mhm.
I want to say a huge thanks to these guys. I appreciate you guys coming on here.
Thank you,
They'll
Jay.
be here next week. Oh no, you guys, thank you. These guys will be here next week. They're the regulars. Next week we'll have Platoon on with us. Paul Chato, if he wants to jump back on. I think we're going to have Zax with us. There's a few other people that want to jump on. We're going to have lots of guests in the future going
Yeah,
through
like the
this.
Rebel Moon stream.
Yeah, these streams
Yeah.
are going to get longer and longer because
Hell yeah.
there's way
Yeah.
too much to talk about with this show.
Yes.
I even
look
held
forward to it.
back. I didn't talk about a lot because I'm saving it for later.
Oh,
Okay.
oh.
Where's the who's having the Rebel Moon stream?
No, that already happened. It was
Oh,
yeah,
packed.
we
Yeah,
did
the one
Rebel
the
Moon.
one I had to miss after fucking
Yes.
sitting through that shit.
Yes.
So now I have all this fucking built up angst about it, and I have nowhere to.
Yeah, you got all
release it.
excited. Where's the Rebel Moon stream? I want to get on it.
It's like
Uh,
fuck. I want to bitch
everyone in the
about how
chat-
bad it is.
Everyone in the chat, you guys were awesome. You guys were killing it tonight. I appreciate you all. Please share the the Arcane stream and Diabolical Souls presents. Still trying to grow this channel, and just this wee little channel trying to grow and have some friends on here. I appreciate you all, and I guess we'll see you guys next week, Thursday. I will actually be here next Wednesday with Mark Poulton. We'll be talking about U.S. Assassins. We'll be promoting his book and good friend of mine, so he'll be on here, and you can catch me on. I'll be around. I'll be on Saturday Night Hypnosis as usual. So, any last words before we close it out there, guys? You got anything you want to say? Nope. Okay. All right. Everyone, take care. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.